Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the opening round of the 2021 WAFL season. We're in sunny Mandurah at David Gray's Arena for the opening round clash between a couple of sides desperately chasing a turnaround in fortunes. Peel Thunder last season's Wooden Spooners and Fremantle coming off a one-win season, and that one win was against Peel Thunder. For front row screens, Jacob Lansmere alongside Jack Crawshaw. Jack, it is a beautiful setting for a very important game for both of these clubs.
Yeah, and these two sides, good afternoon to you, Jacob, and everyone who's tuned in as well and with us this afternoon. Yeah, an important game, as you mentioned. You don't really want to get too far behind in a season, do you, before you're really starting to chase your tail. And these two sides love playing on Good Friday. I think when the initiative first sort of came to the fore that Peel wanted to host a Good Friday fixture, East Fremantle was certainly the team that put their hand up and said we're willing to play with you. So these two sides have ever since done battle down here at Mandurah on Good Friday. But yeah, certainly a little bit of added experience into the Peel Thunder side in the off-season. Will Schofield, of course, coming into the lineup. They're going to be captained by Ben Howlett again this year. A couple of inclusions for East Fremantle, Jacob, which no doubt you'll talk about as the pre-game goes on. But should be an interesting round-up clash. You never know what you're quite going to get in round one. And I think that we could see something pretty similar this afternoon, albeit I think it might be a pretty close encounter.
I'm with you, and both of these teams, as mentioned, victories hard to come by of recent times, but East Fremantle have recruited heavily. Jonathan Marsh back at the club amongst others, and Peel with the return of their Fremantle contingent, which is exciting for Peel Thunder supporters after a winless season in 2020. We're off to a break here as part of the pre-game action. We're back from David Gray's Arena with all of the continued coverage in the run to Bounce Down.
Shutterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shutterguard.com.au.
Here from David Gray's Arena, just seeing the final preliminaries before Bounce Down here at this wonderful venue. Jack Crawshaw, Jacob Lansbury with you. Jack, you couldn't ask for nicer conditions. We'll look at the weather in a moment here at David Gray's Arena for front row screens, but no excuse for skill errors today.
No, I wouldn't have thought so, Jacob, and I think also that we're going to see a pretty quick movement of ball today. I think we've seen that in the AFL so far, where the stand rule on the mark has really opened up the corridor, and teams have certainly taken advantage of that, and we've seen higher scoring in the AFL over the first couple of weeks. So I'll be interested to see whether WAFL clubs sort of follow that same trend throughout season 2021. We know that Peel have changed the game plan recently with a change of coach at Fremantle from Ross Lyon obviously to Justin Longmuir, which has produced more conducive plays. We have a look at the Thunder lineup, and obviously Will Schofield's the big inclusion from an Eagles premiership player point of view there. He'll line up at fullback, but a lot of young talent as well, especially local talent when it comes from the Peel region as well. I mean, Lockie Cullen will line up there at centre half back, who's a South Mandurah Footy Club product as well. Interesting there that I think Will Schofield might play at both ends, Jacob, as you can see in that little graphic there. But nevertheless, they're going to roll in with a lot of that young Fremantle talent as well, which we haven't seen a lot of, including Joel Weston, who's on Fremantle's list this year. So, yeah, that's the Thunder lineup, and it's got a good mix, I think.
It certainly does. Jared McIlvenny will lead the ruck today for Peel Thunder as an 18-year-old. East Fremantle also have a debutant in their ruck position, Ruben Maguire. A youngster at just 19 years of age, played very well in the reserves last year, has had a great pre-season. The 19-year-old leads the ruck, and all across the board there, Jack, you see plenty of new names. Josh Schoenfeld joins East Fremantle, formerly of Peel Thunder. Luke English, the former Perth Colt, who spent 2 years at Richmond, couldn't break into their all-conquering midfield. He's there as well. And then you look at centre half-back, there's Jonathan Marsh, who spent a couple of years on St Kilda's books and Collingwood before that.
Yep, no, very good side. And Cody Leggett, as you mentioned, Jacob, there on the half-back flank. Someone who wanted to get to East Fremantle, and it took a real journey for him to get to the Sharks, but eventually he does get here.
Yes, that was an interesting saga in itself as we see Peel Thunder going through their final pre-game routine. East Fremantle at the opposite end of David Gray's Arena, also going through their final warm-up. Ben Howlett about to address his group, 32 years of age, plenty of experience, and Matthew Jupp is officially skipper of East Fremantle. He's chatting to his gang as well.
So what's your expectations, Jacob, for both of these teams for 2021? Do you expect the Sharks will be in contention for that top 4 or 5?
If they fulfil their potential, and that's been the big concern around East Fremantle, they haven't for so many years performed at the level that they should with a talented squad. Bill Monahan is a widely respected and admired coach. I think they'll be pushing for the top 5. I don't have them in the top 5, and Peel Thunder will be relying a lot on how many Fremantle players they have. Only 6 out there today. Connor Blakely is a late inclusion, it must be said, for Peel Thunder, so he'll add some power around the ball, and he's someone who'll be at the bottom of the packs on many an occasion this afternoon. The most experienced Fremantle listed player out there, along with Taylor Dumas.
Yep, no. So should be fascinating. Peel, you mentioned there with the Fremantle talent, and that's what when you come to the footy each week, that's probably one of the first things you check, isn't it? How many Fremantle Dockers listed players Peel have got, so that'll probably be a bit of their barometer this year. But they've got some exciting talent, as I mentioned earlier, local talent, so we'll see how that plays out this afternoon. But certainly they'd want to get off to a good start in front of their home crowd, and it's a pretty good crowd too as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty of spectators in. The car park's out the front and full. I actually parked in the shopping centre car park next door. That's how full it was. The VIP pass obviously didn't arrive during the week. So, and there's Auskick at half-time. I think Halls Head Junior Footy Club and Baldivis Junior Footy Club will be represented at half-time. So good initiative from Peel to get the Auskickers down, and across the WAFL competition you'll see that all weekend as well. But yeah, it's good to see good WAFL, good Friday crowd here at the footy.
Players are in position. Luke Stranitica is going to start in the middle for East Fremantle, and it's going to be young Jared McIlveny. In his first game, his first hit out at WAFL level, season 2021 is underway at David Gray's Arena. A couple of strugglers from 2020 trying to start on a winning note. Opening bounce, high, knocked down by Stranitica. McIlveny had a hand on the ball. Spills back in, not going too much further from there. It'll be a stoppage, still inside the bullseye.
Yep. Contested possession early there, not much movement so far from the middle.
Stranitica wins the hit out. Working his way through Lester Smith. Ball spills free, a chance for Jansen to kick East Fremantle inside 50, and that is a beautiful pass to Marsh. Leading up the corridor with plenty of space, and he'll have the first set shot of the game and indeed the season for East Fremantle.
A good start for the Sharks. It's what they would have wanted. It's all about the forward can lead out and get the hands out in front of him, Jacob, I think, and that's what will happen with the standing man on the mark, where it'll allow the forwards to lead at the football and ultimately have the first crack at it.
Jonathan Marsh, 11 games with the Saints, 15 with Collingwood. His first kick, back in blue and white, is accurate. And East Fremantle have the first goal inside a minute. And that's on the Grant Car Stereo scoreboard, and we'll see a CD Dodd replay right now, Jack Crawshaw.
Yep, and yeah, good start. That'll be great confidence for the Sharks. They will really get their backs up off the goal for Jonathan Marsh, and he's someone who, if you can get him into the play early, insert him into the play early, I think he's someone that could really take the game by the scruff of the neck, Jonathan Marsh, off centre half forward. But a good start for the Sharks in season 2021, and we'll see them back in the middle once again. Umpire Matt Adams has the footy, and he'll put the ball in the turf right now, and the two ruckmen will go at it again. And this time it is Stranitica who will win it down. In the ruck there's Schoenfeld for the Sharks. Now there's going to be a free kick to Ben Howlett. He was taken high by Stranitica, so there'll be a free kick in the middle going the way of the Thunder skipper. So he'll play on immediately, and he'll send it long inside the 50 at the southern end of the ground. Charging out towards it and sliding in and taking the mark down there for Peel is Sam Sturt. And he'll mark 45 metres out just right of centre, and he'll have an opportunity to go back and try and level the peggings inside the first couple of minutes.
The most noticeable thing, Jack, through these first couple of minutes is the amount of space. And we know that the game looks a lot more free-flowing this year with the change to the man on the mark rule. But both teams have had open looks inside 50, even though that was from a free kick, and East Fremantle had more of an open look inside their forward 50. Sturt had so much room to lead up at the ball.
So he'll kick from probably right on the paint of 50 at right half forward here, Sam Sturt. He's on the approach now, and he'll send it on the way towards the southern end off the left boot. Pretty good looking kick. So Peel get there first and they'll tie things up. Quick response from the Thunder. So East Fremantle 1 straight 6. Peel Thunder also 1 straight 6. Grant's car stereo scoreboard in this opening term, and the perfect response for Peel Thunder.
Nice kick from Sam Sturt. I don't think Peel will get to see too much of him this year if he's fit. He's pushing for AFL honours, a Rising Star nomination in his first game last year, but he's had his injuries, and that's the reason he's playing here today for Peel. He's come off a limited pre-season. He's had issues with his calf. He's had ongoing issues with his ankle, which ended his season early last year. But left footer, lovely set shot kick on that occasion to level the scores. 3 minutes in. Nice and free-flowing opening start to this game. Umpire Jordan Fry about to restart things back in the centre. Taylor Dooman lining up on a wing at the moment against Max Murphy. Bounce favours Stranitica. Clean possession. Umpire doesn't recall it. High kick inside the 50. It's ball to ground. Fumble. Howlett's hand pass knocked down. Working his way through Eardley. Got a hand pass out. Marsh. Dangerous spot here. Oh, shocking hand pass. Marsh gathers, turns, snaps and kicks his second. Nathan O'Driscoll with the poor handball in a dangerous position to turn the ball over, and Jonathan Marsh is loving life back as a Shark. He's got 2 inside 4 minutes. Yeah, good start. The defensive 50 for Peel under a bit of pressure there, and certainly East Fremantle in their attacking 50 had all the run for them there, and Marsh was able to snap truly, took the most of the opportunity, and Peel have conceded that second goal. So the Sharks 2 straight 12, Peel 1 straight 6 inside that first 4.5 minutes. But yeah, that's going to be crucial, isn't it? There, the pressure on the defensive 50 there for Peel, and certainly back there, Will Schofield will be looking to marshal those troops in the back half there for Peel Thunder. Look like a few words there between Will Schofield and Jonathan Marsh. So the umpire has the ball back in the middle, and we will be with Stranitica and McElvinny again, and the umpire this time will have to fold his arms because that one's shot out towards the left. Wasn't too dissimilar to the one he allowed to continue. Yep, in the first bounce where it tumbled out towards the scoreboard side. So a reset and a throw up, and Stranitica wins it down again. Sharks first of the football. They flick up the hand pass. It was deemed a throw, so I thought it was a flick up, and I thought maybe it was a hand pass, but it was a throw in fact, Jacob, and Randall will be the recipient of the free kick for Peel. So they've got the runner on the way past. It's Hancock in the bullseye. He'll kick inside 50, and there is a whistle, and I think it's a downfield free kick or a hold perhaps. Might have to look at the CD Dodd replay for that one, but it'll be a free kick, and Sam Sturt will be the recipient again. A little bit further out, but a little slightly better angle from where he kicked the first one just a short time ago. And Sturt will line up and have a go from just outside of 50 to try and kick his second. Yeah, it looked like Mead, the defender there for East Fremantle, Jamie Mead, was holding on to Sturt as he tried to launch to mark, so right call from the umpire. Here comes Sturt for the immediate response for Peel, kicking towards the southern end in this opening term. He approaches 50 now and he kicks. It's left to right, it'll carry through the majors. So Peel have got a second, Sturt's got both of them, and Marsh has got both for East Fremantle. They've been prolific early. 6.5 minutes gone. It's the Grant's car stereo scoreboard, and we're locked up at 2 straight apiece. We're seeing the great Marsh-Sturt shootout at David Gray's Arena. Jack Crawshaw. 6.5 minutes gone, and they've got 2 goals apiece, leading the Bernie Naylor medal, dare I say. It's interesting that we've seen in the AFL games, in the first couple of games of this round, that the umpires have been really hot on they're wrapping the arms around the body of the player, and therefore we've seen free kicks paid for those type of holding the man infringements. So whether that flows down into WAFL level, I don't think you want to be a defender, Jacob, to be honest, in the modern game. There's so much more going for the forward than the defender these days. But certainly we've seen it in the AFL. We're wondering if you see it in the WAFL or not. 2 goals apiece. Entertaining start at David Gray's Arena. Beautiful tap from Stranitica down to Bennett. Bounces it inside 50. The hot man Marsh taps it into space. Bockman can snap towards full forward, and it falls on the chest of a diving Comma. So East Fremantle are going to get a chance to return to the lead here. Nick Comer was weighing up his future at the end of 2020. Seemed there for a long time as though he was going to hang up the boots. He's 30. The former Bomber. There's a number of former Bombers out there. Nice lunging mark at the top of the goal square. Moves his way in and continues the goal fest. 8 minutes in. East Fremantle have 3. Peel Thunder have 2. And that is on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Nick Comer, his first kick of a new season. Particularly impressive.
And another confidence booster for someone like Nick Comer as well. It can be another player that can really take the game by the scruff of the neck and turn it on its head. A couple of the key players for East Fremantle in the hopes of their season, such as Nick Comer and also Jonathan Marsh getting in the game early. And you mentioned, the former Essendon talent there, Jacob. So Comer and Howlett, and Merritt, who are both playing for Peel Thunder as well. So some sort of connection to the West for the former Bombers.
And a couple of them like a word. Nick Comer isn't bad, from what I'm informed, Jack, on the sledge. So maybe we should try and mic him up. What
about a West Australian game the other way to make their debut for Essendon this weekend as well, in Waterman? But anyway, we're back in the middle, and we're away we go again. In the middle there, Murdoch had it and flicked it in the path of Bennett, and Bennett sat on it and hasn't attempted to get it out, so it'll be holding the ball. And it'll be Connor Blakely, who was the late inclusion this afternoon for Peel Thunder, obviously not playing with Fremantle this afternoon. So he'll propel from the defensive side of the centre square, and he'll send it up towards right half forward, but the kick is errant. And here's the debutant in Maguire, who takes the mark at left half back. The blonde hair and the flashy orange boots, certainly a way to get noticed in your debut, Jacob. That's probably something you would do, I would have thought. Put blonde hair and then wear flashy boots to get noticed as the high ball goes from left half back. Schofield came through with a punch, couldn't bring it down at ground level. Murdoch just kicks the ball along the boundary line. Umpire says he made sufficient attempt to keep it in, and we'll have a boundary throw in 45 metres out at left half forward, with East Fremantle leading by 6 points in this opening quarter.
I can confirm for our audience, I'm a short back and sides man. Nothing special from me. Schneider taps to the front. Howlett just bullocks his way through. Kicks to the wing. Not paid down low for Sears. He's able to get his kick away. And here's Weston, the Dockers young gun. Marks in front of his interchange bench. Blakely calling for it short, but it's pretty stagnant up ahead. Kicks a floater along the line. Off the hands of Maguire. Skips to the back. Tucker. And pass for the Sharks to Baskerville. Kick towards half forward. No mark in the air. Monaghan doing the roving. Marsh worked over the line. Brodie Lake, the man pushing him across. He's making his debut as well for Peel. So great to see so many youngsters getting their first opportunity in this round 1 clash.
So 6 points, East Fremantle in front. Boundary umpire spins the ball in. Stranatica at the back. Tried to kick it into his forward 50. It was a fresh area. He fell into the hands of Merritt and kicks a high ball to the wing. And the mark's been taken. So quickly plays on. It was Middleton who kicks up towards right half forward. Lawler was there. And good defensive play there from East Fremantle. Leggett sees the ball over the boundary line and will have a throw in. 55 around from the goals at the southern end. So nearly 11 minutes gone. Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. East Fremantle 18, Peel Thunder 12 in these opening few minutes as the boundary umpire throws the ball back in again. About 55 around from the goal. And with the hand pass over his head there for the Sharks was Murdoch. And now a high, was it a high? I think in the end, yeah, the umpire paid it. It's been kicked inside 50. Pena there. Now the Sharks in defence can mop it up. Kick is errant coming out of the half-back line there. Couldn't quite trap it there, the Sharks in English. They'll send it back inside, Peel Thunder, through Bakeley. It'll get to the top of the square, and in the end, the ball will fall over the boundary line with an errant tackle. And the boundary umpire will be there to do the business again, 45 metres out from goal. Boundary throw-in at right half forward for Peel Thunder. East Fremantle 3 straight 18, Peel Thunder 2 straight 12.
And that's Corey Chalmers, you can see, the former Falcon jogging back to position. Can't miss him either in the bright red boots. Schneider's won nearly every hit out so far. Follows up with a bit of argy-bargy with Ben Howlett. And there's a free kick coming out of all of this. It's Peel Thunder who walked back with a chance to have a set shot on goal. Murdoch was the man infringing. Hand pass comes across towards Leno Thomas. Another Docker playing today. Powerful mark in defence. Maguire started well for East Fremantle. They'll use the outer side. Not a great kick looking for Lester Smith, but Merritt couldn't intercept. He follows up with a tackle, drags down Lester Smith, as he got his boot to ball, it goes across the boundary line for a throw-in on the outer side. So a few stoppages now, Jack, but on the Grant Star car stereo scoreboard, East Fremantle lead 3 straight to 2 straight.
Say that 6 times quickly, Jacob.
Well, give it a good run throughout the broadcast. Don't you worry about that. Boundary throw-in. Schneider has a big height advantage opposed to Cullen. Cullen got in front. Lester Smith hooks across the body, looking for English. Chalmers can't keep it in on the outer side. Boundary throw-in.
Yeah, so a bit of open play so far in this opening 13 minutes or so. East Fremantle have the advantage. Couple of goals to Marsh and a couple of goals to Sturt for Peel Thunder. So we're smack bang centre wing on the outer side of the ground, and the boundary umpire has the ball and he flicks it back into play now. Might be slightly short. It was Cullen in the ruck there with Stranitica, and then it comes down again, and Howlett gets a kick up towards half forward. No mark at the floor. Trying to flick it up there for Peel as Sturt, who's doing busy early, and the umpire was circling. In the end, the Thunder get it out. Hand pass from Blakely. They've got it here at half forward. It's good smother, and the Sharks will come away with it out of the middle there, and it was English who got the kick away. Out towards the wing on the broadcast side, and there's a shove in the back. It's against Lake. And the free kick will go the way of East Fremantle on the half. I think it's Monaghan who's got the ball here on the centre wing. So now called to play on. Monaghan will kick it towards left half forward. Marsh is busy sliding in, couldn't take the mark at ground level. Peel have got the numbers. Coming up with it again here is Marsh. Hand pass off to Schoenfeld, and he'll kick it inside 50. 2-on-2 there. Schofield's there at the back. Stranitica's there again, and he's manhandled off the ball by Schofield. They'll keep it in play here, the Sharks. There's a couple of them. Hard up against the boundary line. In the pocket there was Boakhorst. Did he keep it in? No, he didn't.
Great smother.
Good smother. Ball over the boundary line. 15-20 metres around from the goals in the right full forward pocket at the northern end. And it's still the Sharks who lead by that margin of 6 points.
It's become a bit more of an in-close contest in the last 4 or 5 minutes here. 5 goals in the opening 11 minutes. Grant's car stereo scoreboard. McIlvany continuing his battle in the ruck. Schneider his opponent here. They start quite deep at this boundary throw-in. They move their way forward. Ball ends up clearing the ruckman's heads. Murdoch to Bennett. His kick goes right across the face into the opposite pocket at the northern end. Bounces out of play for a boundary throw-in. So on the Grant's car stereo scoreboard, East Fremantle 3 straight 18, Peel Thunder 2 straight 12. 2 each, Sturt for Peel and Marsh for East Fremantle.
East Perth have kicked the first 3 there, so 3 straight 18 East Perth, and now Subiaco have got their first, so 1-2-8 there in the other game.
Great tap from Stranitica to Schoenfeld, kick to full forward. That's a nice mark at the back from Pina. Nice poise from the young man. Kick straight up the corridor, has to be a good kick. It gets to Thorne. Hand pass towards Howlett, the skipper, the don't argue. Got away with strength. Very open 50. Getting in front. Well done by Tucker. Got the arms free to Erdley. Hand pass towards Jupp, put him under pressure. Peel have the numbers here at half forward. Randall, open goal square. It's all on the accuracy. And Randall splits the middle. Lovely finish from 45 metres out. And Peel level the scores on the Grant's car stereo scoreboard. Michael Randall kicks his first goal.
Yeah, another piece of open play. We'll see this on the CD Dodd replay here. And it was just that couple of errant hand passes there that caused the turnover, just under a bit of pressure on the half-back line there. East Fremantle and Randall took the most of the opportunity because there was no one within sort of 40 metres of the goal there, and just left it quite open play. So, in response from Peel, 3 straight 18 apiece. So far, attacking footy that we've seen, Jacob, so far. Love it when the game's played open, free-flowing footy.
Makes it easier for the broadcasters.
There's no doubt about that. But we're seeing a similar trend to what we're seeing in the higher level, aren't we? Where the games are more open with the stand rule. Teams are more prepared to use the corridor and keep the game moving. Bounce back in the middle. It's a good one too. They've thrown the young Maguire in the ruck there, East Fremantle. Schoenfeld went without it. Blakely's in the middle there. So is Thorne. Hand passes away off to the goal kicker in Randall. Little chip out towards the wing there. It's Sears. Sears is short along the wing, and he finds Middleton. Middleton now, centre wing. On the right, goes up towards half forward. Bell comes charging out, couldn't take the mark at ground level. The Thunder have had a couple of numbers, but the Sharks have turned it over. Bennett to Boakhorst by hand. Schoenfeld's running with them up against the boundary line. He's going to get held up here by Lake, but he shrugged the tackle. Schoenfeld gave the hand pass away. He got it off to Mead, and then Mead's kicks poor, and Thorne takes the mark for Peel and turns it over. They've got a player on in the middle of the ground. It is Demand. Now there's a free kick here off the ball, and it's going to go to Peel Thunder, 49 metres out at right half forward. So goes from one flank to the other. Free kick's going to go the way of Lawler. Bokhorst will stand the mark, but I'm not sure whether he was the man who gave the free kick away. But Braden Lawler's the recipient of the free kick, and he'll have a shot from about 52, 53 metres out at right half forward. He's on his way now to give Peel Thunder the lead. He sends it on its way. It's a good kick. It'll drop right on the line. Did it carry? No, it hasn't even made the distance, and the Sharks will try and run it out of the half-back line here. And it was a clearing kick that came out towards the wing, but Peel through Lake have taken the mark. Lake's played a lot of footy in the SANFL and also up in the Northern Territory, back with Peel this year, Jacob. Scores are tied up. We've nearly played 18.5.
Yeah, almost into time on. Leggett with the long clearing kick initially for Fremantle. They set themselves inside 50. Spills off hands. Bell doing the bullocking work. Maguire gets his hands free. Bokhorst at half-back for Fremantle. Puts it along the line. Too much on it initially, but Bachman's quick. He's got nothing up ahead, so he has to tap to his own advantage. He's overwhelmed by numbers. Ewing, great effort from Monaghan. Cutting across and smothering the ball over the boundary line. That'll win the plaudits of his coach. Does help when the coach is your old man too. Boundary throw in.
So Tyron Thorne's had 5 disposals early for Peel Thunder. Connor Blakely's had 4 over at East Fremantle. There's a host of players that have had 4. Schoenfeld, Stranitica, Murdoch's had 4, so is Marsh, so is Bokhorst. Early doors on the stats sheet.
Maybe it doesn't help if the coach is your old man. Maybe he judges you harsher. Merritt conceding ground for Peel with the hand pass. O'Driscoll high, not overly handsome, and that's out of bounds on the full. 2 boundary umpires converging and saying that's out on the full. So Jared Jansen, the reigning best and fairest for Fremantle, is going to restart play. Down in front of the Peel Thunder interchange, creeps around, he's called to play on. High kick towards centre half forward. No real winner in the air. Hand pass came out from Chalmers, looking for Monaghan. He's ripped off the ball. Dives back into tied up, 30 metres out from goal. Hand pass flung out. Peel with the numbers in defence. Chance for Pina. Goes across to the outer side. He's looking for Bennell. Has to be clean because Erdley will get this just inside the boundary. Trying to keep it in. He's got English in support. Well done, Bennell. It's a hand pass to Durman, and they'll use the outer side. Another slight fumble though. It comes to Bennett. Kicks to an open goal square and misses to the near side. Rush kick from the top of the 50. Not quite able to find the major opening. So the first blemish on the Grant Car Stereo scoreboard. We've played 21 minutes and that gives Fremantle the lead.
Hancock will bring it back into play. He'll spot up the captain, Ben Howlett, who marks 45 from his defensive 50. He's quick to play on. He's got Schofield, who marks now. Pulls the players to come a little bit closer to him. He's got him now, but he's under pressure as well. It was O'Driscoll, and he had Bachman coming for him, and he dragged him down and holding the ball. Bit slow there. So Bachman will now play on, kick inside 50 and out on a good lead. And taking a mark for the Sharks is O'Reilly. 45 metres out. And just left of centre. We'll have an opportunity now. He's going to be called to come round just 1 more metre to his left.
Played at both ends of the ground. Jack is coming off time on Peel Thunder's books through the alignment with Fremantle. Son of Stephen O'Reilly, who played AFL football. Unfortunately, Dylan didn't get the opportunity, but he's back at the Sharks trying to prove the recruiters wrong.
He's on his way in here. He kicks right on the paint of 50. It's got right to left about it, and it swings straight through the middle. So some good quick kicking so far. We've seen 7 goals now in the first 21.5 minutes. 4-1-25 East Fremantle, 3 straight 18 Peel Thunder. That's all on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard, and another beautiful kick. Just off a couple of steps there and sent it on its way.
Hit it sweet, didn't he? Never really looked like missing. One piece of trivial information for you and our audience, Jack.
You're full of it, Jacob.
Yes.
Yep.
Dylan O'Reilly was the first WAFL player born in the 2000s to play league football.
Really?
Back in 2017. Yep.
Gee.
So he made a little bit of history.
That's your best party trick, isn't it?
Oh,
Random, just little bits of knowledge that I don't know how long you spend trying to find those bits of knowledge, Jacob.
It's best for the audience and for yourself that you don't give it any further thought.
Okay, fair enough.
But Dylan O'Reilly back in the blue and the white, where he was before he was a mid-season recruit a couple of years ago. Putting the Sharks 7 points in front. Schneiderker, the backhand flick down. Jansen overran it. Now it's hand pass knocked down. Jansen, knock it to the outside for Lester Smith, the veteran. He's tackled. Blakely, a real powerful midfielder, particularly at this level. Won a Simpson medal back in 2016 in a Peel Thunder premiership. He ties it up here in the middle of the ground. Good free-flowing start to WAFL footy in 2021. Perfect conditions at David Gray's Arena. Jansen applying a tackle in there. High tackle. Ben Howlett, always very forceful with his tackling. And on this occasion, he's taken young Max Murphy high. Murphy called to play on. He's going to use the outer side. Chance now for Fremantle. Through Schoenfeld. Now they retreat. Just a bit of tempo footy. Here's Matthew Jupp, the captain. Across the ground he goes. Corey Chalmers. They'll have locked it in their half of the ground for now. So it's the short kicking game to test Fremantle. One red head to another. Schoenfeld. Short along the line. And another uncontested mark taken. So Fremantle right now, leading by 7. O'Reilly the goal kicker. They still haven't got it past halfway, and they're not going to look to because they're retreating. Back to Baskerville. Baskerville back to Jupp, and they're going to look to apply a switch if it's on. Now Jupp's going to venture back to the outer side. Looking for Schoenfeld. Has to be a perfect kick. Bounces away from him. He gathers, but has no support. Has to hand pass over the boundary line. Umpire Fry cuts him a bit of slack and says throw it in. So not a lot of direction about that passage for Fremantle. But on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard, after 24 and a bit minutes, they lead it by 7 points.
Sufficient intent was probably the question that the umpire asked themselves on that occasion, and thought that he probably didn't have too much other option there. So boundary umpire throws it in again. Mikkel Vinny wins it down. Schoenfeld first onto it for Fremantle. Hard up against the boundary line. Kicks inside 50. There's a hold of the jumper there. And Ewing will get the free kick.
There we go, Jack. A defender winning a holding free.
Yeah, play in front, Jacob, and that happens occasionally. And that's what I was talking about. In fact, the free kick is going to Hancock. So it wasn't going to Ewing. But anyway, so Hancock will go straight up the middle. Hits O'Driscoll on the chest. He'll come to the broadcast side, and running off half back here is Lake for Peel. Stabs it well along the line here. And now picked up here for Peel, and they'll go in towards the middle of the ground. It was dangerous, and it's been chopped off. So Bachman here for the Sharks. Short chip ball into Comma. Gives the hand pass away. Off to O'Reilly. O'Reilly sends it long from 50 and will split the middle. He's got a couple now, O'Reilly. And East Fremantle have 5. 5-1-31 the Sharks. 3 straight 18 Peel Thunder. Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. And that's a little bit of exciting play from a Sharks youngster, Jacob.
Certainly was. Tim Bachman's someone who's got a lot of excitement around him as well. He was involved in the lead-up play. Dylan O'Reilly able to kick that from well beyond 50 on the run. Never looked like missing again. So he's got 2. John Marsh has got 2. And Jack, one of the big questions around East Fremantle over the last 4 or 5 years where they've languished at the bottom of the table is where are their goal kickers? Where are the players going to be able to pop up and hit the scoreboard regularly? And this is only 1 quarter. But they've got 2 multiple goal kickers already in the game. And Hugh Dixon, another former Docker and Peel Thunder player, played reserves a little bit earlier on, recovering from an ankle injury. So the early signs are good. 5 goals they've kicked in this opening stanza. Haven't won at this ground, David Gray's Arena, since 2014. But they've made a good start. Stranitica. Bounces aren't going particularly high in the middle. Murdoch seemed to be held, and that's how the umpire saw it. Milan Murdoch finished runner-up in the Sharks Best and Fairest last year, nicknamed Buddha. Short, stocky. To Boakhurst. Too much on the kick for Bennett. That's not the place you want to turn the ball over. Blakely loops it over the top to Bennell. He's an exciting machine. Can't get control of it though. Well done, Mead. Had Baskerville in support. And they'll use the outer side to their advantage here, East Fremantle. Kick along the boundary. O'Reilly's been outstanding to start. A few metres on Schofield to mark. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Brings it back inboard. Finds Blaine Boakhurst. Former Blue and Swan District star in the WAFL before he got his AFL opportunity. Now here's a man who's dangerous from long range. Leggett places it into the pocket. Stranitica breaks and marks on his chest. Great ball movement from East Fremantle. Stranitica can go back and take the shot from out at half forward.
Good passage of play there from the Sharks. We've seen that Cody Leggett certainly can kick a long ball, and just about the accuracy there, and he did hit up his teammate, and it's been a tough shot here for Stranitica, and up against the boundary line there at left half forward.
Another man who has played for Peel, been on the Dockers list. He's back home at the Sharks. That kick is on its way, and he swings it back beautifully. Luke Stranitica kicks East Fremantle's 6th goal of this opening quarter that's 28 minutes old on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. On the CD Dodd replay, Jack Crawshaw, that was a beautiful finish.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough angle, but for the right footer, he just nailed it perfectly. Just snuck it inside that right hand upright and executed to perfection there. Did Luke Stranitica. So a couple of players that have slipped Peel's grasp over the time, Stranitica being one of those that have come from Peel, that have gone to East Fremantle in the past. And certainly Stranitica making most of his opportunities here at East Fremantle. But skipped away a bit here have the Sharks. Peel will be keen to get one back, nearing in on quarter time. And here at David Gray's Arena. So McElvinny in the ruck. The man who's kicked the goal, Stranonica's there with him. He's the taller of the two, wins it down to Blakely, trying to bullock his way through. Got the hand pass out, but only as far as Schoenfeld. He fires out the hand pass to Murphy. Now to the debutant in Maguire, and his kick's poor. And kicks it straight down the throat of Hallett. Hallett quickly inside 50. Couldn't find his intended target. Now Murphy off the half-back line here for the Sharks. Hand passes to Schoenfeld. Gets it back to Murphy. Murphy has to be clever here, and he is. Little short ball. Just 15 metres, gets it to Monahan. Monahan, a high ball to left half forward. It's a 2-on-1. Peel have got the numbers. Marsh had Hancock and also Schofield there. Schofield picks up the football, brought to ground, and a good tackle by O'Reilly, who's been in the thick of it early. And no prime opportunity there for Schofield, so the umpire will ball it up. 60 metres out. Spins it up in the air now. Ruckman knock it down. Here's Lake again. It's the hand pass off to Merritt. A high ball from Merritt. Just hooking it back in towards the corridor. No mark at ground level. Numbers here with Peel. Duman gets it off to his teammate in Howlett, the skipper. Into the path of Bennell on the outer side for Peel. He's worried off it. And coming in and collecting was Murdoch. Gets the hand pass away. And they'll go forward here through Erdley. Erdley's kick had to be good to Marsh. He takes it on his chest for the Sharks. He's about 60 metres out from goal. This kick's going to have to be good. Going inside 50. Coming out was O'Reilly. He couldn't stick it. At the back, the Thunder defence has to work hard here. Blakely got the hand pass away. Short releasing kick from Peel to Merritt. And then Merritt will bring it to the broadcast side, and Cullen will take the mark.
Dylan O'Reilly dropped one he should have taken. Cullen for Peel to the wing. Sears at the back. Gathered, but in turn gathered. Good tackle from Maguire too. Now the umpire has to determine whether there was prior opportunity, and he says there was. Ruben Maguire gets a nice moment, and now there's going to be 50 for abuse. That's going against Ben Middleton, who launched a little tirade at the umpire for that call. And so Ruben Maguire has a chance, Jack Crawshaw, in his first quarter of senior football, to kick his first league goal.
Dreams are made of this stuff, Jacob. League debut and get a goal.
He's already had a kick, so he can't join what isn't such an illustrious club. To kick a goal with your first kick seems like every second debutant does that these days. But Ruben Maguire, 19 years of age, went to Wesley College, big private school here in Western Australia. He'll kick from 40. Will Schofield stands the mark. The kick will work its way back and thud into the post. 3/4 of the way up.
Unlucky.
Not quite to be for Ruben Maguire, but on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard, East Fremantle have pushed out to a handy 20-point lead, closing in on quarter time at David Gray's Arena.
So Thomas has the footy at full-back here for Peel. He'll just run out of the goal square and he'll kick it long to the broadcast side. Schofield's there. Also a big fly from Middleton at ground level. Players will dive on top of the footy.
Bit of carnage there, Jack.
Bit of carnage.
Everyone's picked themselves up, but yes, that was a big collision of bodies.
Stranitica in the ruck, wins it down to Marsh. Flicks it off. Murdoch, Boakhurst, dropped it. Lawler's just worried him off the football. Picked up by Howlett for Peel. He got a high one. And they'll stop. Lake puts his hand up and says, no, let the skipper take the free kick. And we'll just reset here because we're down by 20 points, nearing in on quarter time. It's called to play on now here, Howlett. It was collected after he kicked as well. maybe one down the field. Now there's a free kick for a hold off the ball in this marking contest here, because the mark was taken by Randall, and in the end the free kick will go the way of Leggett. Leggett will sit it long inside 50, siren will sound, and it is quarter time. First quarter down in season 2021, and it's a 20-point lead to the Sharks. They've kicked 6 goals to 3 in the opening quarter and lead 38-18.
Those goal kickers on our way to a break. Jonathan Marsh and Dylan O'Reilly each have 2 for the Sharks. Nick Comer with a goal as well. Sam Sturt with 2 goals for Peel, their first 2 goals, and Michael Randall also hit the scoreboard late in that opening quarter. So at quarter time here from David Gray's Arena, it's East Fremantle bursting out of the blocks. They lead by 20 points at David Gray's Arena.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
So quarter time here at David Gray's Arena. Will Schofield, with all of his experience addressing some of his younger charges at quarter time, they've had a lot of work to do. Those back 6, East Fremantle have slammed on 6 goals to 3 to lead by 20 points on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard at quarter time. Jacob Landsmere and Jack Crawshaw with you for Front Row Screens live on Facebook. I reckon the viewers would be pretty entertained, regardless of who they follow right now, Jack, with that opening quarter of football.
Yeah, good start. It was open and free-flowing, and forwards were leading towards the contest and taking the mark out in front of them. And it just brings that key forward back into the game, which we've seen with so much defensive footy over some time in both AFL and WAFL levels. That certainly being able to see the full forward back in full flight is something that I think everyone wants to see in the game. So it gave Marsh the opportunity early, and it also gave Sturt the opportunity as well to kick a couple of goals in that opening quarter as well. But yeah, all in all, a pretty good quarter of footy. Some of those stats in the opening term, Jacob. So Schoenfeld had 10 in that opening term for East Fremantle, 5 kicks, 5 hand passes, couple of marks, couple of inside 50s. Blaine Borkhurst, he had 7 in the opening term. Marsh, Murdoch had 6 each. Baskerville and Bennett and Chalmers, O'Reilly, Stranitica all had 5 disposals each in the opening term for East Fremantle. Meanwhile, for Peel, the skipper Ben Howlett, he had 8, 7 kicks and a hand pass, 2 marks, 2 tackles, couple of inside 50s in that opening quarter for Ben Howlett. Connor Blakely had 7, 2 tackles in the opening term. Jackson Merritt and Tyron Thorne had 6 disposals each, and 5 for Brodie Lake, and also for Joel Weston in that opening quarter as well for Peel Thunder. But all in all, pretty good opening quarter.
Seeing some of the CD Dodd highlights from the opening quarter, and tough job for the team at Front Row Screens to put all of the highlights in, because there were so many in that quarter, trying to pick and choose. But East Fremantle set to go into this second quarter with a 20-point advantage. Ruben Maguire saw him there with a strong defensive mark, even won a 50-metre penalty and got a shot on goal. Deputised for Luke Stranitica in the ruck. And Jack, really, the game's been won around the stoppages at the moment, and Luke Stranitica has dominated the hit-outs so far. 16-3, East Fremantle lead that count at quarter time, and they're getting first use from their ruckman Luke Stranitica to give their midfielders opportunity to get it inside 50.
Just looks like Stranitica's just got a bit more height, hasn't he, on McIlvenny? He's just giving away a little bit there in the ruck contest, so that would probably lean to the way of Stranitica, and certainly with the big stocks at at Fremantle, with Lob obviously being out at the moment and Meek having to play up in the side at the moment. You would have thought that when Lob comes back, maybe Meek might drop back into this Peel Thunder side and play first ruck. But yeah, as you can see in some of those CD Dodd highlights, certainly open flowing footy in the opening term. The white that East Fremantle are wearing, Jacob, is that an away strip, or do you think that the white and the blue rather than predominantly blue with the white?
This is their
is this normal?
This is their normal Guernsey now. Yeah, a couple of years ago they went back to the older fashions jumper.
Yeah.
And you can see Bill Monahan addressing his troops at the moment. The coaching group are wearing predominantly white.
Yeah.
I posed that question at Bill on radio this week. I said, what was the thought process? And he said, well, apparently we all look more slimming in white.
Oh, I thought black was meant to make you look more slimming.
I'm with you.
That's why I predominantly wear black T-shirts, Jacob.
You and me both. In fact, I'm wearing one now and so are you.
Yes.
And there's Cam Shepherd, longest serving coach of Peel, two-time premiership coach. A young group. He spoke last year about how he refound the love of coaching through teaching young men the skills required to play at the highest level, having had so much AFL experience to help the youngsters for so long. Last year that was lost because no AFL-listed players were allowed to play in a COVID-riddled season. He's got some of them back today, but he said it reinvigorated his love for coaching.
Yep, and he reiterated that, Jacob, actually at their season launch the other night, and he spoke about the fact that two-time premiership winning coach, and what else is there to fulfil when you're trying to tick goals, and that's exactly the point that he made, was that the young players that keep coming through the system, that's what he wants to do, and he continually wants to keep improving those next raft of youngsters that are coming through the pathway here at the Peel Thunder Football Club, and I think the addition of Matt Rosa as their footy manager, the former Sun and Eagle, will only help that, strengthen that relationship as well between the Peel region and the Southwest region, and the talent pathway which will come through the Peel Thunder Footy Club in years to come. There's so much talk about a Dockers alignment, and maybe there isn't necessarily the opportunities for some of the local talent in Peel and the Southwest, but I think it's on show, and I think it's very much been highlighted by a number of Peel Thunder staff, including Shepherd himself and obviously Matty Rosa, and new CEO here this year as well in Paul Leckius, that certainly is the pathway for youngsters in the Peel region. The Southwest is a very viable one to play waffle football, and if you're good enough to reach that next level and play AFL footy someday.
Well put. Looking forward to seeing Peel and their young guns develop, as well as the AFL experience they have. But only 6 out there today. A number of them are fresh draftees. You think of Nathan O'Driscoll and Joel Weston. They're out there playing their first game for Peel Thunder. Nathan O'Driscoll made his waffle debut last year for Perth, kicked a famous goal to help them win a game on his debut. Joel Weston played in a Colts premiership for Claremont against Peel Thunder. So I wonder how that first meeting went when he came in through the doors here at Rushton Park, come David Gray's Arena. He was chatting to some of the players he came up against in that Colts grand final a couple of years ago. Leno Thomas with the winning smother in that game for Claremont, also now on Peel's book. Second quarter is underway. That starts with more of the same. Stronitica with the hit out down to English, Bennett out of the middle, and now Jansen. High kick towards centre half forward. Courage required in the air. Lockman couldn't mark, socked further inside 50 by Chalmers. English is followed up. Could have been pushed in the back, spills to Bennett. Kicks into the pocket, Hancock and O'Reilly. We'll see it out of bounds. Boundary throw-in.
Down there at that southern end, East Fremantle kicking to in this second term.
Should say there's no real wind advantage, is there? It's a beautifully still afternoon here at David Gray's Arena. Twilight match starting at 4:10. Tap to ground. Blakely got the hand pass out. Leno Thomas got a clearing kick. Randall, first quarter goal kicker. Speculative kick to the wing. Sturt gathers. Turns out of trouble, feeds Middleton. His hand pass was more in hope, looking for Bell. He ran into a brick wall. That's a forceful tackle from Leggett, but it was high. In fact, no.
Fend off.
It's a high fend off. So the free kick goes to Leggett of East Fremantle, just backwards of centre. And East Fremantle will go forward again.
Yep, they go out towards the wing, and it was the kick from Leggett that didn't quite find the target and over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in.
For old Will Schofield, he's come back to play waffle, and he's been absolutely bombarded with inside 50s, and his opponent's been hit up many a time.
Thrown in by the boundary umpire on that outer side. Stronitica just pushed McElvinny out of the way. High ball up to the half-forward line, and there'll be a free kick for a hold. And it'll be O'Driscoll who will be the recipient. It's against Bachman. Short ball to Merritt. Takes the mark at right half back. The Merritt will stop now and wait. Short ball into the path of Blakely. One of Blakely finding himself out of the Fremantle side. Short ball, Blakely finds the target, and Hancock takes it for Peel. Bit of a possession gathering on the outer side.
Got the dreaded call last week as a medical sub, kind of Blakely. So I'm not sure what you'd prefer, to be a medical sub and not get a run. He did get a run in the last quarter.
Oh, big fly on the outer side there from Middleton. Couldn't bring it down and scored it over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in.
What would you prefer, Jack? To be the medical sub and get an AFL payment, or play WAFL and press your claims to start the 22?
If you love playing footy, it's a tough question. I think with all the extra running you have to do, if you wouldn't happen to play as the medical sub, if you even didn't get any game time, if there was no injury, I think that the running would be annoying afterwards. So maybe you would prefer maybe to get a game in the WAFL level. Not sure. It's a difficult one. They're going through the middle here. Are the Thunder, and it's Thomas who, like a bullet-like pass inside 50, was looking for Sturt, but chopped off there by Leggett. Leggett to the outer side. He finds Comma. Comma marks in front of Lake. Comma for the Sharks now will kick inside 50. That's a poor kick from Nick Comma. Mark taken by Randall. Going back the other way. Randall hits up Middleton, who marks attacking side of the centre square for Peel. So Middleton goes, hang on, I'm just going to go back and have a go here. Not much on offer inside 50. Just going to back myself, and I'm just going to send it long from downtown and see if I can put it through the middle.
Well, from what we've seen so far in this game, Jack, it's certainly within the realms of possibility. We've seen a couple of goals from beyond 50 to this end.
And he's not short of confidence either, Ben Middleton, from my chat with him at the season launch on the panel the other night, as he sends it on its way. It's got right to left. It'll drop on the goal line, and it'll just miss to the right-hand side for a minor score. So East Fremantle, 6 goals to 38. And Peel Thunder 3-1-19, nearly 4 minutes gone in this second term, as the Sharks bring it out from D50, Jacob.
Leggett goes very long. Marsh on a long searching lead. Started at half forward, marks at half back. Puts up his hand to say, let's just calm things down, calm the tempo of this one. Not as frenetic from a scoring perspective as the first quarter. O'Driscoll thought he had the mark, then Bachman was trying to claim it at the ground. Gets around, hand pass to Murphy. Kick to half forward is good for Monahan. Plays on with a hand pass, or at left half forward. Hand pass comes to Bachman. He steps in and out of traffic, and he kicks inside 50 and finds Chalmers. The former Falcon marks out at left half forward, 45 from the target.
Another good passage of play. Hit up the leading forward again. Inside the 50 there did the Sharks.
Corey Chalmers, 82 games, 77 goals in the red and the blue of West Perth. Has a previous working relationship with Bill Monahan. Had a year out of WAFL footy last year. He's decided to revive his career with the Sharks. And watch them come from everywhere if he kicks accurately. On the approach. Corey Chalmers drags his kick near side. So both teams with the behind to start this second quarter on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. It's a 20-point lead to East Fremantle.
One other game going on, Jacob. East Perth leads Subiaco by 4 points. They've played about 5 minutes in the second quarter up there at Leederville Oval. The arch rivals, they're at Leederville going at it. The co-tenants. Schofield from the half-back line. Kicks it towards the wing on the outer side. Bell couldn't take the mark. Randall was there as well. He got a good bump too. And I think the Sharks play there's come off worse for wear. Jansen over the top of the ball. Randall's there as well. He heard the voice of Merritt, so he flicked the hand pass up. Short ball to Bell, who was running with it. Bell now from 60 will kick inside 50 for the Thunder. Big fly, big grab. I think that's Sturt down there again. He kicked 2 in the opening term. He's taken this time a good clunk above his head, and this is probably the easiest of his shots, Jacob, today. He'll be 15 metres out, just right of centre.
Plays tall, doesn't he? He's sort of that classic mid-sized forward. We're seeing Mead being helped towards he might actually be just trying to run it off. But yeah, Sturt, one of those mid-sized forward who plays a lot taller. He marked that above his head, but he's a difficult matchup.
Here comes Sam Sturt looking for goal number 3, and one that Peel Thunder desperately need. It's tight to that right-hand goal post, but the goal umpire says it's all okay. So it's a 4th of the afternoon for Peel, and Sam Sturt has got 3 of those. 6-3-39, East Fremantle, 3-1-19. 4-1-25 rather now. Peel Thunder, 6.5 minutes gone. And pretty easy as you like action there on the CD Dodd replay.
Yep, comfortable finish for Sam Sturt. He might not be seeing too much more football here at David Gray's arena if he continues on this path. Fremantle screaming out for goal-kicking options inside their forward 50, and Sturt with 3 goals in just over a quarter of action, making a pretty compelling case, I would have thought, to Justin Longmuir and his match committee for round number 4 of the AFL next week.
Where does he fit in there, Jacob? Sturt, obviously, with Switkowski having a good game last week.
That's a good question. Yeah, Switkowski had a great game, and Schultz, a little pocket rocket, he's had a good start to the year. So, yeah, not as easy to win a spot as maybe it would have been at the start of the year. Schoenfeld started this quarter on the bench, letting possession getter in the first. Got some sort of a hand pass out. Marsh missed Murphy. Dooman, almost Dak, got 2 possessions in quick succession. Hand pass towards high half forward. Bennell breaks the tackle. Well-measured pass, finds Cullen. So Peel with their turn at momentum. He's got a man breaking into the pocket. He's ignored. It's Bell who's on the lead. Knocked to ground by Fremantle. Schoenfeld's kick was knocked down. He might win the ball back here just inside the boundary. Hand pass misses the target, but he wins a free. Just as Peel were going inside 50, and Sturt had marked the ball at the top of the goal square for what it was worth. But Schoenfeld's going to win a free kick at half-back. Former Gold Coast son, Josh Schoenfeld, and a lot of people within Fremantle said he'd be one of the best recruits in the WAFL this year, and he's made a pretty good early start.
Yep.
A lot of the ball, hard runner. Searching kick to the wing, and the only man who really wanted it in the air. Comfortable intercept mark taken by Ewing.
He's at 11 now, Schoenfeld.
James Ewing, one of a number of youngsters who got the chance to impress last year. Kicks towards half forward, might be a bit of kick to kick. Looked like Schoenfeld was going to mark the ball, knocked away off hands. A boundary throw in.
Where's the Sharks skipper, Jacob? Where's Jupp? Seen a lot of him so far.
No, he's a dour fullback. He'll be happy to stay out of the action. Yes, has been a pretty quiet start for the Lynn medalist in 2019, a couple of years ago. Dooman does the roving off the pack, kicks inside the 50. Lawler couldn't mark, skips to the back. Here's Sturt again. He's got Tucker for company, got the hand pass away towards Lawler. And the ball has gone over the boundary line for a throw in deep forward for Peel. Right half forward.
Having said that, Jacob, Blair Bell has been well held, hasn't had a good look at it. I think that's Jupp's direct matchup is Blair Bell. And a couple of big jumps and leaps at it, but no real clean lead and grab for Blair Bell so far this afternoon. Here's the boundary throw in. Maguire's in the ruck with Cullen. Now the umpire's picked a free kick out of there somewhere. It's a hold off the ball, and it's going the way of Peel Thunder in their forward 50.
Yep, looked like Thorne was held.
Picked that up well, Jacob. Wonder whether we'll see a CD Dodd replay on that one.
We might need one.
Might have to see where that free kick was in the stoppage there. We might have an opportunity to have a look at it if he kicks truly here as Thorne sends it on its way. Goal umpire doesn't have to move. Not even a shimmy from the goal umpire. And a major for Peel. That brings them back into the contest. They're just 8 points behind. It's 6-3-39, 5-1-31. Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. And we're about 10 minutes into this second term.
Been a really impressive fight back from Peel. Just wheeling the ball forward. Fremantle have made some poor decision making out of their back 50 in this quarter. And Peel have capitalised on their opportunities. And Tyrone Thorne stands at 169 centimetres and 58 kilos.
He's a jockey.
Not much of him, but he puts himself in the line of fire, and there he was held off the ball. Won himself a free kick, goes back and slots the goal. So Peel have the only 2 goals of this quarter. They've reduced the Sharks' lead to 8 on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. Nice response from the home team. Jansen's taking a turn on the ball now. Doesn't ruck too much. He doesn't really jump for this. But English gets the kick towards the wing. Show of strength from Lester Smith. Spills off hands to Randall of Peel. High kick. They all fly. Getting the highest was Erdley. But Peel at the front. Kicked inside 50 by Sears. A juggled mark from Bell. And he has completed it. He was winning a free kick in any event. Advantage is going to be allowed here. And Merritt is going to stroll in an open goal and kick Peel's third of the quarter. So Jackson Merritt, the reigning best and fairest at Peel Thunder, the former Bomber, kicks the 3rd goal in 11 minutes for the home team. Fremantle have stopped to a bit of a walk, Jack Crawshaw.
Yeah, they certainly have. Fremantle had the benefit of what is a maybe a small zephyr, Jacob, going down towards the northern end of the ground, but the flags on the top of the advertising boarding where we're looking at don't seem as if they're blowing an absolute gust, do they? So Peel have just got themselves into the contest here. They've taken, I saw that they'd introduced Marsh into the middle there for a little while there, East Fremantle, to try and get his influence on the ball, but they've taken him out and put him back in the forward line again. So left up to the likes of Schoenfeld in the middle there to try and drive a bit of traffic there for East Fremantle. As the bounce in the middle, and it's Jansen who's in the ruck who got it down. Peel Thunder though with the numbers, flick out the hand pass. Here's Burnell, gives it off to Blakely. Blakely a long kick inside 50, coming out and taking a big grab is Sturt over the top of a couple. Lawler was in front position. Sturt came from about 2 or 3 deep. Leggett's a bit sore on the left ankle there, I think, as he comes up. Seems to be walking okay just. But a big grab from Sam Sturt. CD Dodd replay, you can see it there. And really, he's having a little bit of a day out so far, is Sam Sturt in the first half down here in Mandurah.
Yeah, Braden Lawler was almost a bit of collateral damage on the way through. Get out of my way.
Just like anyone, like similar to anyone under Liam Ryan last weekend in the Bulldogs game, Jacob.
Poor old Zach Langdon. I think he's just reattached his nose.
So here comes Sturt. He's looking for goal number 4 in the opening half, and I think he's just snuck it in the right-hand upright. He has. So Sturt's got 4 in the first half, and the Thunder have hit the front. 7-1-43. East Fremantle 6-3-39, and this has been a big comeback from the Thunder in the second term.
Yep, 4 goals now, and in the space of 7 minutes. We didn't have a goal for the first 7, and Peel have slammed on 4 in quick time since. And Sam Sturt, who 2 years ago in this corresponding game, Jack, was actually knocked out in a horrible collision with Lachlan Bailey. It robbed him of almost half his season, which meant he didn't get a chance to debut. He was talked about as being a very early debutant for Fremantle in 2019. But on Good Friday 2 years ago, knocked out Coles. Him and Lockie Bailey both ended up in hospital. He's out there now. He's had his injury concerns, but he is putting forward a case to be back in Fremantle's 22 or even 23 now with the medical sub. 4 goals to zip in this quarter. Stranitica wins the tap. East Fremantle can't get the ball out of the middle. Jansen's hand pass misses the target. Thorne puts him back inside 50 again. Cullen on the lead, stretches, can't mark. Tucker has a fumble, tackled, and he threw it.
Yep.
So another free kick inside 50, and it's going to be Cullen who's going to go back and take a shot deep in the pocket. Out at right half forward, Lockie Cullen. Man who often has to play ruck. Only just over 6 foot, 184 centimetres, but often gets thrown into the heart of the ground. Now he's up against the fence with a very difficult shot. But this is for 5 goals in the quarter. The Peel Thunder, Cullen's kick is going to fall short. They fly in the square, and Maguire brings down a nice grab. I think he'd won a free kick anyway before that. But the free kick might be going to a teammate. That's rough because he's taken a great mark, and Stranitica ends up with a free kick, which he makes a hand pass. Leggett.
Didn't have a shoe, Stranitica, to kick it with.
Yeah, that's fair. Kick outside the defensive 50. Mark taken by Chalmers, kick forward of the wing. Hancock and Marsh, it bounces away from both of them, and Marsh remonstrates with the teammate, saying, I wanted the kick out in front, you kicked it over my head and gave me no chance. Boundary throw in forward of the wing for the Sharks on the Hayden Ballantyne wing here at David Gray's Arena.
So Peel Thunder hold the lead about halfway through the quarter. We see long quarters down here at Peel. They always go about 30 minutes. Boundary umpire spins it in. It's got a bit of left to it as you look at it on the screen. Now there's a bit of soccer here, and it's been soccered off Lester Smith. No, it was soccered from Randall off Lester Smith and then over the boundary line. So there'll be a free kick to Peel out of bounds on the full. So Randall will kick it high, inside 50 for Peel at the northern end. No mark. Mickle-Vinny at the front, gets the hand pass away. Howlett in support, gives it to Lawler, hurries it forward on the left. Bounces once to Jupp. Good tackle from Bell, and dangerous tackle. Lifted the legs off the ground. Advantage to the Sharks. Borkhurst will kick it into the middle. And the mark's been taken by O'Reilly, who kicked a couple of goals in the opening term. Hasn't been sighted since because the ball hasn't really been up there. Short from O'Reilly to Borkhurst, and then short again to Monaghan, who takes the mark here for East Fremantle. Just forward of centre wing on the broadcast side. Monahan will stab it low. That's a shocking kick. Turnover, and Bennell takes the mark for Peel. He now plays on the right, inside 50, the target's Cullen. He'll trap it now. He's hard up against the boundary line, throws it on the left. It goes right across the face of goal into the right full forward pocket. The foot race was on there between Lawler and Leggett. And the boundary line wins out. We'll have a throw in deep in the right full forward pocket down there at the northern end of the ground. It's the Thunder by 4 points, and we've just ticked past, or just about to tick past, 17 minutes in this second quarter.
Dare I say it, Cody had to leg it to get to that ball.
Oh, dear. It's a bit early for those.
Yeah, it is. It is only round one.
Yeah.
Shallow throw in. Knocked to ground by Maguire. Thorne spins out with the ball. Hand passed it out somehow. Leggett with strength was taken high. No advantage will be taken. So Leggett, who's been called on to do a bit of defending in this quarter. Fremantle have kicked just to behind. Peel have kicked 4 goals to take the lead. Murdoch, there was some shepherding work done off the ball so that he could mark it. Umpire said that was okay. Schoenfeld. Peel trying to push back on number in defence, and Fremantle are happy to continue to tight rope the boundary on the outer side here at David Gray's arena. Bit of height in that kick from Chalmers to Murphy. Max Murphy benches 4 to the mark. Kicks it high towards half forward. Schofield in the air, knocked to ground from behind by O'Reilly. Bachman roves. Hand pass towards Murdoch, who's at the top of the 50. Hand pass over the top to O'Reilly for the answer for the Sharks. He hits the post. Snapping from 25 metres out. A chance at his third. Fremantle still goalless in this second quarter. On the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard, the margin trimmed to 3 points. Peel with the advantage.
Yeah, they bring it out of the full back line pretty quickly here, and Sears has it at left half back. He's going to go back to the defensive goal square. It's okay because he's got a teammate there in Pena who kicks it short. And here's Hancock for Peel. Hancock over the top to the run of Pena. Just take it in front of Deman. Now short from Pena into the corridor. And here's Thorne. Thorne to the run of his teammate Thomas. And Thomas will fire off a hand pass. Will it sit for Spears? He has to lean down and pick it up now. He's 55 out. Oh, the left foot kick probably wasn't great for Howlett. Well, it wasn't great for Howlett. Couldn't pick it up from his bootlaces, and it's over the boundary line and the throw-in, 40 metres around from goal. It's left half forward. Connor Blakely, Ben Howlett, Jackson Merritt have all had 10 possessions for Peel. And for East Fremantle, Schoenfeld's had 13, Chalmers 10, and Bokhorst and Marsh have had 9 each. Now from the restart there, big tumble from Stranonica, he hits the floor. And there'll be a free kick here in the defensive 50 for Stranonica. Peel Thunder leading by 3 points, and we're not far away from time on in the second quarter on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard.
A lot of pace on the game at the moment. East Fremantle look a little gassed. Peel have the momentum, the lead, and all of the run. High kick towards the wing. Marsh through his fingertips, but he attracted a crowd. Bennett. Oh, round the back action for Monahan. Wasn't expecting it. Hand pass high. It's a bit of a hospital hand pass from O'Driscoll. Cleans up his own mess. Brilliant smother across the boot of Ewing. Plenty of numbers now around this ball. Thorne had a kick that was partially smothered. McIlvini gathered in a tackle as soon as he gained possession. Not much of the young man in game number 1. And he was brought to the ground with some venom. Just forward to the wing in the shadows. As we now do hit time on of this second quarter. And it's Peel by 3. Schneider wins the tap, looking for English to Rove. Hand pass came out from Chalmers to Bokhorst. His kick towards the wing. Late dropped the mark, but was able to take it out of play. Monahan's had a pretty tough quarter. Turned the ball over, trying to kick it back into the corridor. Missed a teammate with a hand pass, then tried to have the fancy around the back possession. Dropped that as well. Now it's a boundary throw in right on halfway, right in front of us.
McIlvini and Stranonica to go at it. In the front position, Stranonica won it down. Bokhorst is there. He's got Randall wearing him like a glove as he ushers it over the boundary line. And I think very lucky there. Nearly the sufficient intent could have been questioned from Bokhorst, but the umpire said it was all okay. And we'll have another boundary throw in. Subi and East Perth. 21 minutes gone second quarter. It's East Perth by 7 points over Subiaco. So pretty tight there, like it is here. From the restart, here's Murdoch. Back into the middle of the ground. Oh, crunch. Advantage will be paid. Here's Bennett. Bennett with a kick to left half forward. It has to sit for Comma. Comma gathers now. 55 out from goal. Sells the dummy. Short ball inboard. to Schoenfeld, who takes the mark 45 metres out from goal at left half forward. And an opportunity to put East Fremantle back on top on the scoreboard. Josh Schoenfeld, if he can kick truly from the left half forward position.
Not sure he's got the distance, Jack. He's looking for a teammate to dish off. Marsh was screaming for it. Leggett's hovering around the back. Now he's going back to take his kick, but I think there'll be a crowd on the goal line here because this might fall just short.
Here comes Schoenfeld. He's on the runway now to give the Sharks back the lead. He runs around and he sends it on its way, and it did have the distance but just not the accuracy. It misses to the left hand side. So 7-1-43 Peel, 6-5-41 East Fremantle. That's the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Great supporters of Front Row Screed's coverage of the WAFL.
Pina, long kick to the outer side. Schofield through his hands but attracted a crowd. It's going to beat all comers over the boundary. Bell had space and would have broken down the outer wing, but the ball did not sit up for him. So East Fremantle in this quarter have kicked 3 behinds, and Peel have kicked 4 goals to take the lead in this game. 20 points down at quarter time. McIlvini and Stranitica. Stranitica gets his hand to the ball. Plenty of numbers now around the ball. It's become a bit more of a stoppage game. Hand pass comes out. Boakhurst involved, gets it back, steps through traffic. Hand pass is good to Bennett. Now Bennett, can he hit a target inside 50? He's got Marsh in a Peel sandwich. He gathers, he breaks the tackle, gets the hand pass away. On hands and knees, it comes back towards Bennett. It came from English. He couldn't get his kick away. Peel on hand in defence, doing well at the moment. Diving in was the player there for East Fremantle in Murdoch. The kick flying into the pocket from Schoenfeld goes out of bounds on the full. So it is a free kick going Peel's way in the last line. And it's going to Jarvis Pina. So seemed a certain goal there when Marsh broke the tackle and was turning back towards the target. But Peel did enough to put the pressure on the Sharks, who have still not kicked a goal. 23.5 into this second quarter.
Pina, he brings it back in from the full back line, kicks to that wing on the outer side, and standing tall there is Stranitica and takes the mark, couple of grabs. So now he looks inboard, but looks what's coming down that flank as well. Kicks on the right, inside 50 to the hot spot. Coming out was Marsh, couldn't take the mark. Ground level, Murdoch, hand passes to Schoenfeld. Top of the goal square stuff. Comber going back with the flight, couldn't take it and tapping it over the line. As a free kick, actually, front on, and it's going the way of Monahan in the left full forward pocket. I didn't quite see. I was more focused on Marsh than what had happened to Monahan there. He must have just got dragged off the back of the contest, perhaps. So Monahan will get the free kick on the tightest of angles down there in the left full forward pocket.
Didn't look to be a lot in it, Jack, in all honesty. It looked like a pretty rough call.
Monahan will have to swing around on the right. He's called to play on, and he's absolutely flower bagged it right across the face, and it's out of bounds on the full. So it'll be a free kick in the left full back pocket to Peel. Lake will take it, and it's the Thunder by 2 points, and we're coming up to the 25-minute mark in the second quarter down here at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah.
The footy gods got their way in the end. Lake, nice sidestep around Bockman. High kick towards the wing. East Fremantle with the numbers in the air. Erdley ran into his own teammate. There was a push in there as well, and it was a Peel player pushed in Middleton. Meads back out there for East Fremantle. Copped the hit at the start of this term. Good to see him back. Kick down the line. Good depth on it from Middleton. Gets to Merritt. Now that's going to be 50 because Lester Smith has knocked the ball out of Merritt's hands as he was going back to take the mark. That's going to put him within goal-scoring range, Jack Crawshaw. He'll be inside 50. He already has a goal in this term. And East Fremantle are looking for the half-time siren right now.
Yeah, just a little bit clumsy there from Lester Smith. Knocked the ball out of the hands. He probably thought he was still within the marking contest, but the mark had well have been taken, and the umpire correctly paid the 50-metre penalty.
This really shouldn't be any problem for a player of Jackson Merritt's calibre. On the Tucky medal last year as Peel's fairest and best. His kick is on its way and it hits the posts. The left upright, 3/4 of the way up. That is a commentator's curse.
And when we had 3 posters down there, I think, haven't we, in the first half so far?
It's a magnet. Peel by 3 at the 26-minute mark. That's on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard.
Straight out of full-back, Erdley. Oh, and the kick from Maguire, the debutant who received it from Erdley. He's just put it into the front row there. So Peel, through Bell, can have a go from on the boundary line. 55 metres out. If he can kick this, that'll just that crowded bank there you can see on your screen. That will send the crowd into raptures if he kicks this one, Jacob.
He might jump the fence and celebrate.
He comes around, he swings around. It's right to left. It's probably won't quite have the distance or the accuracy. It splits the players on the goal line down there. Like a bit of 10-pin action.
Now, the goal umpire has got lost in the pack on the goal line, Jack. He is not certain at all. Now we're going to have a conference.
Yeah, here comes the boundary umpire. Have we got the technology to do the old score review from where we are,
Front
Jacob?
row screens might help out the goal umpire here.
Just roll it through. But now there's a massive big conference on the line here.
Umpire's call is one behind, and that is what is signalled at the end of it all. So Peel get a behind. 4-point lead.
Okay. So the Sharks, can they make a better fist of it this time? Baskerville's got the kick-out duties. He sends it near the boundary line, and it will be spiked over. Merritt was in front position again, but East Fremantle worked it over the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw in this time. So we're not too far away from half-time. Peel have had the upper hand in this second term after East Fremantle burst out of the blocks in the opening. Boundary umpire throws it in. Ruckman go at it, comes down, he's Merritt again, hand pass off to Howlett. Howlett throws it on the left, inside 50, big pack of plays. Bell went up high, no mark, legged at ground level, brought to ground, in a good tackle in fact by Cullen. And we'll have a ball up about 25 metres out from goal there in the 50 at the northern end. Umpire's quick to get it going. Maguire in the ruck gets up high, here's Jansen, tackled well by Merritt. Got the little hand pass out there, Blakely, Schoenfeld. Schoenfeld gives it off to Jansen. Jansen to a 2-on-1. Schofield there. Big fly over the top there. O'Reilly was there. Bockman as well. Boundary throw in front of the interchange for the Thunder. It's the Thunder, the home side, who lead by 4 points on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. And we're about 28, nearly 28 and a half into this second quarter.
East Perth by a point against Subi in the Battle of the Co-Tenants. Free kick in the ruck. And Srinaika is penalised for wrapping his arms around McIlvini. Hasn't had a kick yet. Had a couple of hand passes, but he should put boot to ball here for the first time at league level, the Colts product. And he does so with a powerful kick inside 50. Middleton went flying up in the air, couldn't mark. Ball spits around. Eventually it comes out Chalmers' way. Now there's a whistle. What's happened here?
Free kick off for a hold, I think, off the ball. It should go Peel's way.
Yep, and it's Bell who is limping back up. No, it is going to go again to Thorne. So Thorne gets a chance to kick his second goal of this quarter, and this could be a really important kick just before half-time. Push it beyond a goal and have a bit of scoreboard pressure heading into the second half. Aaron Thorne. Young man who's played a little bit of league football over the last couple of years. This is just his 11th game. He had 3 goals heading in. He's already got 1. Looking at his second. Stuttery approach towards the target. He kicked it where he ran. It's off hands this time, and it is going to be, again, there's a bit of a conference. Now, it is going to be a boundary throw-in. The initial call was out of bounds on the full, and the field umpire actually overruled the boundary umpire and said it'll be a boundary throw-in. So there's just a little bit of confusion down at that end of the ground at the northern end at the moment. But Peel are deep in attack and leading by 4 points. Just before half-time. Shallow throw-in. Cullen clean possession. No, knocked it down to ground in the end. Lawler storming through. Tucker tackled. Kick on the way at goal is a behind. It was Randall who got the kick away under duress at the top of the goal square. So Peel are peppering. 7-4 to 6-5. They lead by 5 points. We've ticked past the half-hour mark on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. And East Fremantle goalless in this term. Peel looking as though they'll lead it at half-time.
Leggett from full-back. Kicks long outside the defensive 50. And mark on the outer side. Taken by English. English short. Didn't see anything further afield, so he goes back to Leggett. Leggett into the middle of the ground. High fly, no mark. At the back, the Sharks have got the numbers. Through Jansen. Gets the hand pass away. Schoenfeld. They'll kick it further forward here. Marsh just pushed off Lake. Marsh then gathered the football, took a bounce, runs to 40. Desperate need here for the Sharks, and he's hit the upright, the left-hand upright. Thuds into it too. Minor score. Would have been a perfect goal for the East Fremantle to kick right on half-time. 7-4-46 Peel Thunder, 6-6-42 East Fremantle. 31 and a half gone, and the Thunder will bring it out of full-back.
They've kicked 4 points for the quarter. East Fremantle, crowd at half-back. And a whistle. It's an East Fremantle free kick. We are in the last minute The call's gone out, so East Fremantle will move this with some hurriedness. Inside 50, the ball bounces off the chest. That was like something out of a cartoon from O'Reilly. It spills though back towards Bachman. He kicks on goal. The Sharks desperately need a major and they get it. Tim Bachman kicks the goal for East Fremantle. Their first of the quarter at the 32-minute mark. And East Fremantle could head into half-time with the lead despite being comprehensively outplayed in this second term. Jack Crawshaw.
Yeah, just what they needed there. The Sharks just to steady the tide of Peel Thunder having the upper hand in that opening, in the second quarter, I should say. No doubt about that. All the running's been with Peel, but on the other hand, Peel would be probably slightly disappointed the fact that they were able to give up the scoreboard advantage, probably going into this half-time break with less than a minute to go. But certainly, as you saw there on the CD Dodd replay, it's a clever piece of work there from Bachman, who was able to sneak it just inside that right-hand goalpost and ultimately give the Sharks, which will probably be a couple of points of lead going into the break. Not sure who deserved the lead, actually, Jacob, going into half-time, considering that the first quarter was pretty much dominated by East Fremantle after the first 2 or 3 goals, and then Peel dominated the second.
Perfectly set up, isn't it, for the second half, with 7 goals apiece to half-time.
Yeah, good bounce back in the middle too by the umpire. Now, is there time for another score? We heard the call of less than a minute before. Randall was there. The Sharks have the advantage out of the middle. Jansen tried to hack it forward, but the Thunder through Randall and then to Thomas. And Thomas, as he kicked, the siren sounds to end the first half down here at Mandurah, David Gray's Arena. Peel Thunder and East Fremantle, the first game of the WAFL season 2021. The Sharks 7-6-48, Peel Thunder 7-4-46.
Sam Sturt with 4 for Peel in that first half. Their only multiple goal kicker. Merritt, Randall and Thorne with singles. Marsh and O'Reilly have 2 each. They came in the first quarter. Bachman with the only goal in that term for East Fremantle. Comma and Schneider hit the scoreboard in the first. So the shadow starting to engulf David Gray's Arena. What is a twilight game. It has been a warm day here in the west, but the temperature is starting to drop. However, the game's temperature is going through the roof. This is a hot contest, and at half-time it's the Sharks by 2 points.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Some of the youngsters seeing some action at half-time. One of the great parts of the WAFL is that young boys and girls, either if they're playing in an official half-time game or whether they're just with mum and dad, brother and sister, having a kick out there on the hallowed turf here at David Gray's Arena. The ground is looking an absolute picture. We've been treated to an outstanding game of football at half-time. It is East Fremantle leading by 2 points. These two teams struggled for victories last year, and we're none the wiser through a half of football who walks away victorious in this one. The Sharks 7-6-48, 7-4-46 Peel Thunder. But that second quarter, Jack Crawshaw, was all about Sam Sturt and Peel Thunder.
Well, it was. He's kicked 4, as you said, Jacob, in the opening half, and really has looked the most likely option for Peel. I mean, Blair Bell's had a couple of goes at it, but Sturt has been the one who's really presented and has taken marks right out in front of his eyes, and a couple of good grabs as well in that first half for Sam Sturt as well. So they'll need more of that in the second half, no doubt, from a Peel Thunder point of view, if they're going to go on and win the game in the second half. But yeah, certainly as we look at some of those CD Dodd highlights in that opening quarter, Jonathan Marsh obviously got the Sharks off to a a pretty good start, and you'll see some of Sam Sturt's highlights here as well in that first quarter as we roll them through. But certainly Marsh in that second quarter didn't get a lot of opportunity, Jacob, with the ball probably not going down there as much as what it did in the second. But Sturt certainly got some good delivery, no doubt about that. The game's been quite open, and I think, again, that'll go, and we've probably mentioned it a couple of times, that's going to be footy, I think, in 2021 with the stand rule and teams looking to attack the corridor more in the event that they can sneak away from that man on the mark and really go long and direct and give that key forward the most of the opportunity. So certainly that's what we've seen in the first half. Here looks very similar to the scoreline up at Leederville as well, with Subi and East Perth as well. Both teams have kicked 8 goals in the first half there too. So high scoring means more attractive footy, and it brings the key forward into the game, I think, and that's what a lot of people go to the footy for, to see the contest between the forward and the back, but the forward probably prevailing a bit more, Jacob, and kicking a big bag of goals like we saw Big Bruce kick for the Western Bulldogs today against North Melbourne there and down there in Melbourne. But yeah, certainly a good game of footy to date, as you can see in some of those CD dot highlights there. But some of the better players, Jacob, for East Fremantle in the first half, they have the lead. Schoenfeld's had 19 disposals, 4 marks, a tackle. Has he probably been the best on ground, do you think, so far?
I think so. He probably hasn't used the ball as well as he'd liked. He's found enough of it. Tom Bennett was probably East Fremantle's only winner in that quarter. He had 13 disposals and got the ball around the contest. Boakhurst gets the ball, but does he do enough with it? You look at Peel and you feel like they've had more even contributions across the board. Sturt's been the star up forward, but Merritt's outstanding in midfield. Tyron Thorne had a great quarter. He's had 12 disposals and kicked a goal to half-time. Ben Howlett and Michael Randall with 11 possessions each. Connor Blakely with 10. So there are plenty of players there that have been able to have an impact on this game so far, but a few who need to lift. You look at Blair Bell, he's only had 3 disposals. He's been well held by Matthew Jupp, Braden Lawler. Those two are both dual premiership players with Peel, and neither of them have had an impact. So there's scope for improvement with both of these sides at half-time. Well, with round 1 now underway, let's take a look behind the scenes at Subiaco. They missed finals last year in 2020. Let's see what they've done to get ready for season 2021.
For me, I'd finished uni at Deakin University in Melbourne, and after that point I was ready for a new challenge. I'd spent 2 years at Frankston Football Club, and Perth is something that's always interested me, and I come over here to see what it would be like to work and live here, and 7 years later here I am.
I loved everything I had going on in Melbourne at the time. I was playing footy at a great footy club, Frankston, and loved that, so it was a really tough decision. But yeah, when I came and met and saw the club, and having Lockie here obviously made it a lot easier to move, and I'm really rapt I did. It was a great choice that I made at the time.
We've been ingrained in the culture here that's been set well before we arrived, and the big thing for me is the written or unspoken fabric of the club, the standards that they hold.
Yeah, I think it brings everything together. So in terms of the professionalism of the place is second to none, the club culture and the inclusiveness of the place. And I think Subi, what it does really well is combines those things together. And I think that's the real charm about the place.
Yeah, state footy is a huge honour. Just growing up in Victoria to one day pull on the big V and not being able to do it, moving to WA was always high on the bucket list, and every year it comes around, you're sort of scratching yourself, hoping you're going to make that team and represent the state. Probably a highlight for us is when we did beat the Big V and put them into retirement.
That win in Victoria after not beating him for 70 years, that was huge to be a part of, and celebrated appropriately. And then the one the following year in South Australia was huge as well. So it's something that we're really grateful that we get to be a part of. So really thankful for the support that Kia provides that to continue to keep going.
And the benchmark of the WAFL goes back to back. One of the most emphatic performances in recent grand final history.
That tag of being hunted it's one of 2 ways you can approach it. You can be fearful of it, or you can embrace it and realise that every game is an opportunity for either team to win, and if you're not desperate enough, you can slip away really quickly. So it's a good way for just continuing to hone your skills and make sure that you're ready to go every week, because if you're not, someone's going to get your number.
I hereby declare Lachlan Delahunty from the Subiaco Football Club winner of the 2019 Sandover Medal with 28 votes.
Yeah, it's a huge honour, and it's a whirlwind of a week to see the players that have won it before me, and to be a part of that sort of history now, and the Sandover family was an incredible experience and something that I'll certainly value for forever.
It's a little bit cliche, but it really is a huge honour to be captain of Subi Footy Club and a club like this. When you look about the men who have come before me and held this position, you know, they're really well respected guys in the community. If I can have anything near the sort of impact those guys had on their playing group and the club going forward, then I'll be really proud of what I've been able to add to Subi Footy Club when I do hang up the boots.
And now Delahunty, the Sandover medalist, has to finish it. Will he? Can he? Oh, that is the play of the year! Outstanding, Subiaco.
This footy club is, for us, is like our family, being away home from Victoria. I think it's fair to say that for both of us. They've embraced us, we've embraced it, and being a part of it is a big part of why we're here.
Sort of pinch yourself every time you pull on the jumper, because this is a moment in our life that we're cherishing and enjoying, and something we'll never take for granted.
Couple of stars of the WAFL, both hail from Frankston in Victoria, Lee Kitchen and Lachlan Delahunty. What a contribution those two have made to the WAFL. Subiaco hoping for a return to finals this year, having missed in 2020. They are playing in the other game that's currently in progress as part of the opening day, Good Friday. A great crowd here at David Gray's Arena watching this game, and no doubt there is as well at Leederville Oval. It is half-time there, and it's East Perth who lead by a solitary point, 8-4-52 to 8-3-51. Here, it is a 2-point lead to East Fremantle. Peel had a 4-point lead with just moments remaining in the opening half, but a late goal from Tim Bockman put the Sharks back in front. 7-6-48 to 7-4-46. A few minutes away from the resumption of the third quarter. We are going to clear a commitment here on front row screens. Jacob Lansbury and Jack Crawshaw with you, and we're back with the third term in just a moment.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Lights, camera action as we prepare for the third quarter here at David Gray's Arena, and the lights are taking effect in what is a twilight fixture to start the season, and this is an annual meeting between these two sides on Good Friday. And Peel Thunder have had all the success in these games over the last few years. East Fremantle haven't won at David Gray's Arena since 2014. And Peel's average winning margin in that time, Jack Crawshaw, has been 32 points. So at the moment, this is pretty close, but Peel have had the better of the Sharks on this ground for, well, the best part of a decade.
Yeah, and certainly in this first half of footy, we don't know whether that'll continue or not. So we'll see what happens in the second half coming up. But just some of the stat winners, Jacob, in that first half. So as we see, just some more of the highlights, CD Dodd highlights from this game down here in Mandurah. Josh Schoenfeld's had 19 disposals, 4 marks, tackled 2 inside 50s. Thomas Bennett, he's had 13 disposals. Blaine Borkhurst had 13. Corey Chalmers 11. Cody Leggett 11. Jonathan Marsh 11. Milan Murdoch has had 10. Luke Stranatic has had 10 disposals, 3 marks, 26 hitouts, 3 inside 50s. He's kicked a goal as well, Jacob. He'd be in your 3-2-1 at the end so far, I reckon. And then if you have a look at Peel Thunder, Jackson Merritt's had 13. 3 marks, 2 tackles and an inside 50. He's kicked a goal as well. Tyron Thorne's had 12. Ben Howlett and Michael Randall have had 11 each. Connor Blakely's had 10. Freo Watch, hashtag Freo Watch. Connor Blakely's had 10. Jarvis Pena has had 9 disposals. How many hand passes do you think out of those 9 he has had, Jacob, do you think?
0.
0. Well, you'd be spot on there because I reckon you've already looked at it. 9 kicks for 9 disposals, 3 marks and an inside 50. Sam Sturt's had 8. 4 kicks, 4 goals for Sam Sturt, so he's on a bit of fire so far today as well. So, but interesting, couple of points to East Fremantle.
Yeah, they lead by 2 at half-time. And Luke Stranitica, Jack, is an interesting one. You mentioned his stat line there. He's playing on the ball as the first-choice ruckman. He hasn't played as a genuine number 1 ruckman either at Peel when he was on their books through his time at Fremantle, because they had an abundance of tall timber when he was down here playing in Mandurah for the Thunder. And when he returned from his time on the Dockers list, he was behind Jonathan Griffin and a couple of others in the ruck stock. So he's played as a deep forward, and he's certainly got the size, and he's good enough to play as a key position player. But if he had it his way, Luke Stranitica, he would be playing on the ball to use his athleticism a little bit more, and we've seen that on display. We must say he's playing on a debutant in Jared McElvinny, who has found the going tough. He's playing on a guy that's twice his size and twice the amount of experience. But that's a good sign for East Fremantle that with Jonathan Griffin retiring, and what a great servant he was of West Australian footy, they might have found their heir apparent as their number 1 ruck.
Yep, no, very true, and hopefully he stays injury-free. Fingers crossed Stranitica throughout the year and has a very good season for East Fremantle. Jacob, you mentioned off the top your thoughts on East Fremantle and Peel this year, and you didn't have East Fremantle in your 5.
No.
And you haven't got Peel in your 5. So who is in your 5, Jacob?
Well, I've got South Fremantle winning the premiership, which is a very easy call to make because they're the reigning premiers, but their squad's, I think, enhanced from last year. We had Cam McCarthy and Matt Parker to the books, and Schlensog as well off time on Geelong's books. Blake Schlensog has come across, so he'll be there tomorrow as a key defender when they play West Perth. I've got East Perth in second.
East Perth
in second. A lot of people have them right down the bottom of the table, but I like what they're doing and what they're building. Perth third. The Demons to return to finals and push deep into the season. Subiaco to finish in 4th position, and West Perth in 5th for me. I've got Claremont in there. West Perth miss. So Claremont 4th, Subiaco 5th, and West Perth 6th was my top 5 at the start of the year. And we're 2 games into the start of the season at half-time in both, and it's a 1-point lead to East Perth over Subi, and it's a 2-point lead here for East Fremantle over Peel. So if you're a purist, you just love waffle footy in a close contest, you haven't been disappointed so far.
So you haven't got the Eagles in your 5?
I've got West Coast last.
Oh.
I don't think West Coast's main emphasis with their reserves team is wins and losses. I think it's about developing that AFL-listed talent to play AFL football. And I'm not sure that the top-up players have the class, if they lose players to injury, to cover. So that was the issue in their first season. They ended up making the finals, but they went through a real glut of performance when they lost a lot of players West Coast at AFL level to injury, and they didn't quite have the depth. So I've got West Coast down the bottom of the table. How about yourself?
No, I like your thought pattern on South Fremantle. I think what they have added will only make them stronger in season 2021. There's no doubt about that. So I think you'd be right in saying the Bulldogs, you can never write off. Well, having said that, I was going to say you can never write off the Lions, but they didn't quite get there last year. I think Bo Waldman will find a way there. They've had a year with a different side, and now that side will grow. I don't know when they'll finish second, but I'm just going to say 5, and you can put them in whatever order you like, Jacob. It'd be like the lotto numbers tonight. If I can get those, that'd be handy too. But I think that you'll see East Perth. I like your thought pattern about East Perth. Whether they're up the top in the top couple, I think we'll wait and see there. But I've named 3. How many more have I got?
You got 7 more. Well, you only need 2 more for your top 5.
Claremont, will they be in there?
I think so. They've lost Alec Waterman, who was probably their number 1 target in attack and their best player. Change of coach, Ash Prescott. That all happened in rather remarkable circumstances last year. So you just wonder whether that's going to have an impact on the stability on and off the field at Tigerland. But they've got enough talent at their disposal.
Is there a bit of in-house issue? Kane Mitchell, not the skipper, so obviously we've seen a player or two, or one player in particular, who decided to up and go. Do you reckon that could be a lingering problem?
It's up to the players now. It's whether the players can put that behind them and attack the season. But you lose a player of Hayden Bush's calibre, and his future is uncertain. He hasn't signed with another Waffle club. Claremont aren't going to clear him. He is under contract at the Tigers for 2021. So I guess Hayden Busher has a choice to make. Does he return and play at Claremont? Does he have a year out of the WAFL competition? That's a story in itself that no doubt will follow with keen interest through this early stage of the WAFL season. But I think Claremont's skill and talent will get them into finals this year. So I think you have to put them in your 5. But I've got them sliding. As I said, I've got them 4th.
Okay. Yeah, interesting make-up for the WAFL finals this year. I think we might see a bit of a changing of the guard in some ways, as you said, with teams up the top like East Perth, who we haven't seen in a while, and Perth as well. Change of coach there too, obviously, with Gary Moss taking over from Mill Sporting. So, yeah, it could be interesting. So a couple of points here. East Fremantle lead Peel at half-time. Most of this second half will be played in the artificial light, not the natural light. I can't remember the last time they turned the lights on for a WAFL game down here.
At least they know they still work.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was here probably 2 weeks ago when they were doing the testing for the light towers, and I didn't know, right, that I would have thought that there'd be a big crane that goes all the way up to the top, and then they fix the bulb.
Yep.
But did you know that the towers actually come down from their upright position towards the ground, and that's how they fix them? Did you know that?
I did not know that.
They look like fixed metal poles.
They do.
Right? But they actually fold down, and then the man comes along with whatever he needs to do.
The electrician.
I don't know too much about it.
No, you and me both.
And that's how they fix the tower. I couldn't believe it. I was waiting for the bloke to go up in the cherry picker. And then the cherry picker never arrived, so they just folded the tower down. It just sort of mechanically came down. And
what's cheaper, do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know.
Now we're getting very technical.
Yep.
The players are moving back to their positions for the start of the third quarter. And what a third quarter it promises to be. A couple of teams that have struggled for victories of recent years. And there's only 2 points in at East Fremantle's way. 4 goals to 1 to Peel in that second quarter. Players are in position. Umpires are just ticking off the 6, 6 and 6, which is now a rule that's been in vogue for a couple of years. East Fremantle to start with a 2-point advantage at the start of this third term. You're with Jack Crawshaw.
So Stronitica will be in the ruck, and so will McElvinny, and it favours McElvinny, who wins it down. Blakely's first on it for the Thunder. He gets the hand pass out to Howlett. Howlett's short ball couldn't be trapped. So now the ball in dispute just outside the bullseye. Ball spills to Jansen for East Fremantle, and he gets the hand pass away, and it's Chalmers on the right. A short little ball, and they've got the mark just forward of centre half forward. Here's Bockman, who was pretty good in the first half. Kicks into the right full forward pocket. No clean possession. The Sharks, though, have got the numbers. They're working it away. Chalmers again off the right. Hooks back into the corridor and didn't travel the 15, I think. Murphy had it. Got the hand pass away for the Sharks. Good smother by the Thunder and Thomas. And Thomas's kick is errant. It was touched, I think. So Borkhurst gives the hand pass away. Gets it to a teammate and Erdley snaps truly on the right and will kick the first goal of the second half. And East Fremantle will just skip away. So out to 8 points now at the start of the third quarter. East Fremantle 8-6-54. Peel Thunder 7-4-46. That's the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. We'll spit that one out. Start of the second half. Say that again, Jacob, 5 times over and it'll get you. And a little bit of an advantage for the Sharks at the start of this second half. And first up for Erdley in this game.
He's playing across half back. So my first look was I had to do a double take when he snapped the ball, wondering how he got down into the forward line. He's gone back inside defensive 50, having snapped that goal. But a class finish from Cameron Erdley, a previous best and fairest winner, a man who had AFL listed experience with the Cats. Not a high bounce in the middle. Schneider gets the tap to ground. English worked off it. Dooman can't break the English tackle, but does get it to Randall. Kick to the top of the 50. Maguire sits under the high ball. Good mark. Read it well in the air. East Fremantle have started the quarter well. Goes back with the kick. Switch of play applied as Baskerville kicks up the corridor and finds Schoenfeld. They use the outer side. It's a high, slow kick, but it will get to the target. Lester Smith. Now he has Bockman working down the line, but he's missed him. He's missed him by a good 5 metres. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. And so that is a free kick going Peel's way. They dodge a bullet because Bockman was out down the outer side.
Yeah, costly error. Could have been on the move there, the Sharks, and could have really hammered home that first goal that they've kicked in the start of this second half. So Peanut has the ball, and he'll bring it back into play. Short pass to Randall, who takes it here for Peel. He can go back to Pena by hand if he wants to. Decides not to. Decides to spear it to Blakely, who takes the mark for Peel. Edging their way closer to the halfway point at David Gray's Arena. We wait for Blakely now. He decides to chip short backwards, not 15. Pena under pressure. Gets the hand pass away. Back to Lake. Lake on the defensive 50. He can come to Schofield on this broadcast side, who marks just in front of Monahan. Now he plays on to Schofield. He can come to the broadcast side, and Dooman takes the mark for Peel. Set up well here, the Sharks behind the ball. Not a lot of room here to go. So short one to McElvinny, who's got away from Maguire. McElvinny now will go short again. Oh, it sits on top of the head of the Thunder play there. He couldn't quite get it, and the East Fremantle will turn it over. Here's Borkhurst, who was kicked and was shoved in the back at the same time as he kicked it, affected the kick. Monahan now, Bachman will swing around on the left. He'll kick it to the top of the goal square. Murphy's there, so's Hancock. It's going to have to be clever here. Is Hancock got the hand pass back to Thomas to Schofield, and Schofield disguised it very well over the left behind line, minor score. So 55 East Fremantle, 46 Peel Thunder. 4 minutes gone in this second half.
Well disguised by Will Schofield, using all 194 games of AFL experience there. Plays on from fullback. Gets a stat for that too, because he ventured out of the fullback goal square. You're talking about Jarvis Pena's stats at halftime, Jack. He inflated those numbers because he came out of the goal square a couple of times. If you're struggling for possessions, that's one way to get yourself into the game. Peel just trying to play a bit of tempo football with Dooman. Short to Blakely. A couple of Peel Thunder premiership players in the golden years a few years ago.
He's had a hand pass now too, Jarvis Pena.
Oh, he's ruined the stat line.
10 and 1 now.
The old Kevin Bartlett stat line from back in the day. High kick along the boundary. They all fly. Big leap from Middleton. Almost brought it down. And Erdley is held but not in possession. It was going to be a boundary throw, but Cameron Erdley, the goal scorer in this second half, has the ball here, defensive side of the wing for the Sharks. Their lead is 9 points. That's on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. Squaring the kick up. Here's Mead. Hasn't had a kick yet. He has now, but he's going backwards. They're looking for the switch. Leggett. Here's a long kick. Here's a line breaker, and he proves to be here. The kick finds Lester Smith, who dropped the mark but recovered in time. Long hand pass towards the teammate in Murdoch. He shared it with Baskerville and got it back. Murdoch left foot kick long to fall forward. 3 Peel players getting back, and it's Schofield who gets his hand to it. But he had a couple of teammates behind in support if he couldn't get a hand on the ball. So East Fremantle doing all of the scoring so far in this third quarter. Their lead has extended from 2 points at the half to 10. We're just past the 5-minute mark of the third quarter on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard.
Scoring in that northern end, isn't it? We've seen majority of it down that end so far today. So Schofield runs out of fullback, kicks it long. He's looking for Middleton, couldn't bring the mark down. Lawler at ground level, got the hand pass away. Howlett will run away with it. Now holding the ball, the umpire's called. So maybe a throw, perhaps, yeah. But so Lawler copped that up, and it'll be Chalmers with the free kick for East Fremantle. So he'll kick inside 50. Marsh went up high. Schofield might have had an arm on him, but the umpire said no, play on. So Thomas picked it up from ground level, kicked to the outer side where Merritt collects for Peel. Oh, and he's knocked out of his hands the ball there by Lester Smith, and eventually over the boundary line, and the umpire says throw it in.
Now,
I think he had an eternity there, really, to get rid of Merritt.
Well, umpire Fry actually was about to put his whistle to his mouth and then thought better of it because it spilt out and the tackle wasn't completed. So he was going to pay holding the ball, and Jackson Merritt got away with one, as did Peel.
Boundary umpire spins it in. So Stranitica wins it down to ground level. And now a couple of Sharks combined with hand passes. A high ball inside 50. Schoenfeld couldn't take the mark. Murdoch there, hand pass it away off to Bennett. Bennett towards Marsh. He was there with Schofield. Back onto the loose football now. Marsh spins around, kicks it high. It's well wide of the goals. It's out of bounds on the full. And East Fremantle will keep that 10-point advantage at the 7-minute mark of the third quarter.
Jonathan Marsh just starting to impose himself. He's a big body in that forward 50 for East Fremantle. He burnt a couple of teammates there. He could have hand passed, but he took it on himself. He crashed the pack, brought a couple down for good measure. So Peel with their backs to the wall at the start of this third term. Randall clears the defensive 50, but only momentarily, because Stranitica, playing a great game for East Fremantle, marks, turns away from his goal but finds Erdley in space. He drives the kick back in deep. O'Reilly, the meat the sandwich, got high but couldn't mark. Thomas gathers the ball on his hands and knees. A high hand pass that doesn't clear the area. Strong tackle applied, top of the East Fremantle goal square. Plenty of numbers around this ball. East Fremantle one holding the ball, and they are going to get it. A two-man tackle, and it's going to be Comer who comes up with the free kick. And young O'Driscoll is pleading his case with the umpire, but he dived on the ball. The East Fremantle players hailed a cab immediately, and the umpire said yes.
Hailed the cab, Jacob.
Yep, arm up, hailed a cab. So Nick Comer, he kicked a goal from a pretty similar position in the first quarter. The angle's a little bit more obtuse on this occasion. I've got Jack there with that one. 10-point lead. Nick Comer trying to extend it by 6. Hits the post. Left hand upright, 3/4 of the way up again.
How many is that? 4 or 5 we've had down there now?
We've had 4, I reckon, at that northern end, and at the other end of the ground we've had at least 2.
Gee whiz.
So East Fremantle by 11. That's on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. And we're in the 9th minute of this third quarter.
Bit of push and shove behind the ball. Benny Hallett's just...
free kick.
Yeah, he's just whacked Murdoch on the back of the head, Benny Hallett. So he's getting a bit frustrated. The umpire's seen it and should be a free kick right in front here for East Fremantle. That was a bit undisciplined from the Thunder skipper in Hallett, who's obviously not happy with some of the attention that he's been getting. And he just, it's clear as day, just whacked Murdoch on the back of the head, and the umpire was just right there and saw it. So, bit silly from Ben Hallett, and it'll give East Fremantle the opportunity to skip 17 points out if the goal can be kicked truly here by Lester Smith. On his way in, stabs it low, and just sneaks it inside the right-hand upright. So it is a costly error for Peel. East Fremantle now 9-9-63. Peel Thunder 7-4-46. Just over 9 minutes gone, third quarter. That's the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. And that's the first of the afternoon for Ryan Lester Smith.
Cam Shepherd would be filthy with that. From his experienced player, his most experienced player, their captain. And he would have experienced this kind of treatment before as a player of high quality at WAFL level. And at this stage of the game, you just can't afford to give away a free kick like that. Ryan Lester Smith's reaction on the CD Dodd replay suggests he knew that he didn't hit that kick overly well. It was only 20 out directly in front, but he nearly shanked it to the left. Just snuck it in for his first goal.
Subi up by 8 points now over East Perth. 6.5 minutes gone into the third quarter up there at Leederville. Cullen
rose high, actually won the hit out for Peel. Still in the heart of the ground. Hand pass from Thorne, comes out to Randall. Looking for Bennell, who's got some toe, but Mead beats him to it, taps it away from him. All played by Mead. It's going to be a boundary throw-in. Jamie Mead, 23 years of age, just his 4th game, but it's his first game since 2018, so he's played a lot of reserves footy, had to win back his spot, which he's now done. So a throw-in between wing and half-forward for Peel, out of sight. Schneider wins the tap. Hand pass comes out. English onto the run of Boakhurst. English now to the top of the 50. Marsh in a foot race. A couple of experienced players, Schofield and Marsh. Marsh taps it out towards Comer. He's got it down at his ankles. Now he's tackled by Schofield. Ragdoll to the ground. That'll be a ball up 40 metres from goal in the right forward pocket. East Fremantle have the only 2 goals of the quarter. They've steadied. As Jack Crawshaw mentioned, it is the scoring end, the northern end. Schneider uncontested, won the tap. There's a whistle. There's a reason it was an uncontested ruck contest. No, it's going to be an East Fremantle free kick.
I think it's against Peel, I think, for...
Did they not have a nominated? Was there a ruck nomination free kick there? It's a Stranitica free kick. He didn't have anyone in the ruck to go up against. So I wonder if someone maybe went up in the end when they shouldn't have. Either way, it's a Stranitica free kick deep in the pocket. Stranitica's just taking a deep breath. Tough kick, 45 metres out. Out wide. He's already got one from the opposite pocket in the first quarter. He's generally a pretty good set shot kick, and as I say that, he sprays it. He does not score. Out of bounds on the full. And Peel again, a chance to relieve from full back. East Fremantle leading by 17 points on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard, 12 minutes into the third quarter.
Pina's got the duties at full back. Chip short. Finds the intended target. They'll bring it out towards the broadcast side here, and the mark has been taken by Hancock for Peel at right half back. Looking for his options. He'll go short. That's probably not 15, but the umpire pays it. It's Weston short to Pina. Pina dances on the spot and then had to hand pass away very quickly. Back to Weston. Pina short back in further into the defensive 15. Here's Schofield now. He's got to get around Marsh. Both dancing there together. Eventually Schofield decides to kick it out wide on the bounce. Dooman picks it up. He's got the run of Lake on the inside. He finds him now. He kicks short to Lawler. Lawler was pushed in the marking contest. The umpire, I thought, was almost going to decide to march him back 50, but decided not to. So Lawler sends it long up towards the forward line. Stranatica couldn't bring the mark down. And now East Fremantle with a couple of hand passes, and Lawler gives a good bump to Leggett, knocked him off his feet. He was about to gather the ball and spills over the line in front of the scoreboard on the outer side, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Still that 17-point lead to East Fremantle, coming up to the 13.5-minute mark of the third quarter. David Gray's Arena are under lights on Good Friday.
Haven't scored in this quarter, have Peel. Stranatica muscled Cullen off the ball, took clean possession. Kick inside 50. Marsh can't mark, but attracted a crowd. Crumbing is done by Comma, who snaps to an open goal, and East Fremantle have another. 23-point lead. They have the only 3 goals of this quarter. Nick Comma playing exclusively as a forward pocket this year, it would appear, under Bill Monahan. Kicks a crucial major, his second. And East Fremantle have steadied Jack Crawshaw, kicking to what we do think, though, is the scoring end.
Yep, created an opportunity there, didn't they, the Sharks, and they took full control of it. A timely goal there for Nick Comma, from as we saw there on the CD Dodd replay. That was a timely one. And East Fremantle probably have in the back of their mind that that is the scoring end, and they probably want to be 4 or 5 out in front at three-quarter time. So they're 3.5, or 3, nearly 4 at the moment. They can skip out to maybe 5 or 6 in front, knowing that Peel are going to come home with whatever that breeze seems to be down there towards the northern end. Yeah, the Sharks will really want to push the advantage home in the next 10 minutes or so of this third term. So we're back in the middle now. Umpire Jordan Fry has the footy, and the bounce is perfect. Now Jansen's in the ruck. He went up the higher of the 2 over McElvinny. Coming through his Borkhurst, gets the hand pass off to Schoenfeld for Peel, for East Fremantle rather. Went up towards half forward. Bockman was caught at ground level. Doing well there was O'Driscoll for Peel. Created the contest, kicked to half forward. Middleton takes the mark, stabs it into the right full forward pocket. Now jumps back there, the skipper. He's there with Bell, and he did well jump to disguise it over the boundary line. He was running back there with Bell, and eventually he ran out of room. The line won the contest. And there'll be a boundary throw in deep in the right full forward pocket at the southern end of the ground. So Peel need a goal here just to stem the flow from the Sharks early in this third term. From the boundary throw in, it was Cullen who won it down. Onto the top of the football though was English. A high ball outside the 50. No mark taken, ground level, it's Merritt. Merritt kicks to the top of the goal square, and running back with the flight is Lawler and takes the mark for Peel. Top of the goal square. And an opportunity here for the Thunder, and they won't come too much easier than this for Braden Lawler. From just in front, 15 metres out, 20 metres out from goal. And hopefully, for Peel Thunder's sake, will be an easy conversion here for Braden Lawler. He's on the way in, and he kicks the goal. Much needed one for Peel. East Fremantle, 10-9-69. Peel Thunder, 8-4-52. Grant's car stereo scoreboard. 17-minute mark of the third quarter, and Braden Lawler finds the scoreboard. He joins Sam Sturt, who's kicked 4, who's probably been unsighted so far in the third quarter. Jackson, Merritt, and also Tyron Thorne have got a couple. Will have 1 each rather, and so does Randall for Peel Thunder, and now Braden Lawler joins the scoreboard as well, but a much needed one for Peel.
Sure was. Just Braden Lawler's 5th possession of this game, so he's been very well held, and you called Bell and Jupp in their battle a moment ago. Bell's only had 3 disposals. It's at the bottom of the stat sheet for Peel Thunder. So they've got a couple of their premiership stars from a few years ago who have room for improvement.
Subi have skipped out to 14 points now over East Perth at the 14-minute mark of the third.
Stranatica the hit out. Schoenfeld got a hand pass to Marsh on the fly. Brilliant clearance. Long bomb deep into the forward pocket. Bockman sets himself a post. O'Driscoll dropped the mark. Moved O'Driscoll under the path of the ball. Now Marsh has pulled up sore here. I'm not sure if this is cramp or whether he's done something more sinister. But he's limping to the bench. As he kicked that ball, he has pulled up sore and he is limping from the ground. So we'll keep an eye on that, because he's been a telling player for East Fremantle in this game, and he doesn't look overly comfortable as he gets to the bench. Max Murphy will replace him. But it's deep forward for the Sharks. And they're looking in a dangerous position. There were no ruckmen at the contest. Spilt to the ground, hand pass came out, in the pocket, the snap comes from Chalmers, and Chalmers has kicked a beauty! A brilliant goal! His first in the blue and white, right up against the boundary, snap across the body, and it never looked like missing. East Fremantle get the quick response.
Not a lot of daylight to look at there between the sticks there for Corey Chalmers, but he certainly found enough of it to kick truly. So, yeah, East Fremantle have the quick response to the Lawler goal from the other end.
Well, just looking on the CD Dodd replay, Jack, the remarkable part about that was there were no ruckmen. They had to allow the ball to bounce. So there were players around the ball, and you saw it there on the CD Dodd replay. Everyone had to wait for the ball to bounce because if either player took clean possession, it was a free kick. And then it spilt away to Chalmers, who snapped the beauty from the right forward pocket.
I don't think he was looking, Jacob Chalmers.
No, the old look-away snap.
Just threw it on the boot. Hoped it would go somewhere remotely close.
Now, surely Corey Chalmers' nickname is Snake. Snake Chalmers.
No, that one's lost on me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. What's that a reference to?
It's Snake Charmer.
Oh, no. Righto. That's another one of those dad jokes that you pull out, which are obviously well before your time. Out of the middle, here they go, the Sharks again, from long range, from 60, just missing to the left-hand side. It was a flying shot and a minor score. So 19 minutes now gone in this quarter, and it's a 24-point lead. They're dead on 4 goals now that they lead, and Peel Thunder are quickly out of the back half, out of the goal square, I should say, at the defensive end, and they've found Blakely. Blakely goes short, and he finds Peanut. Peanut can come to Sears, who takes the mark on the second grab just inside the boundary line. That nearly had disaster written all over it there for Sears. So he now has called the play on. He'll send it to the broadcast side, just forward of the wing. Stranatica will be the big flyer. It's punched to ground. Schoenfeld now here for East Fremantle. He hand-passed away off to Murdoch. Murdoch's wrapped up straight away. He sat on top of it, and he's not trying to get it out. So the umpire says it's holding the ball.
Right call.
So he'll sit on top of it. And now
professional time waste.
Yeah. Howlett, who's been in the thick of it in the third quarter here, just decided to push him off the football, and Ben Howlett's got the free kick. So Howlett will stab the ball into the middle of the ground. Trying to trap it in the middle there for Peel was Thomas. He had Schofield in support. Big fly down there from Cullen, and he got a high one from the East Fremantle defender. An arm chop, says the umpire, in fact, and Lockie Cullen will go back and have a shot from 45 metres out, directly in front. The error made by Durack Tucker down there in defence.
Yep, and again, that was there. Tucker, in his attempt to spoil, could only grab the arms. It was the only way he was going to impede him in the marking contest. So definitely a free kick. Now, Jack, you look at the scoreboard for Grant's Car Stereos, and you think, they've Fremantle up by 4 goals, but it doesn't feel like they're that far ahead.
Big slipper into it from Cullen, goes down towards the left-hand goal post, and they'll escort the ball over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in down there at the southern end. About 10 metres around from the behind post. Still very dangerous spot here. Peel Thunder looking to put another one on the board. We're inside the time on period in the third quarter. From the throw in, ball hasn't gone too far. Schoenfeld's in there for East Fremantle on top of the footy. Cullen comes off the bottom of the pack. He's going to be in the ruck up against the debutant there in Maguire. From the stoppage, high ball, Merritt's there, so's Chalmers, Schoenfeld, hand passed away, off to Jansen, back to Schoenfeld, quick foot on the ball, up towards the wing, big fly, no mark, Monaghan at ground level, gathered the football up, Sears tried to shepherd, but really should have gone and attacked the football because he gave the footy up. Bachman gathers, now back to Lester Smith, Chalmers, Bachman ran into trouble, good tackle there by McElvinny, that should be holding the ball and has been paid holding the ball. Bachman not too happy with the treatment. Tried to drag McElvinny to his feet, but he was caught stone cold. Free kick to Peel Thunder on the wing, broadcast on the scoreboard side of the ground, and it's still a 24-point lead to the Sharks.
And now there's a 50-metre penalty, and that is because Bachman moved on the mark. He was told to stand, and he did not stand to attention. So an opportunity for McElvinny in his first game. He's found it tough in the ruck. Sleight of frame, only 18 years of age, from Secret Harbour. Now he gets a chance to hit the scoreboard in a meaningful way as Ryan Bennell Not Ryan Bennell.
That's Thomas, actually.
Thomas.
Yeah,
That's Leno Thomas. I think he copped a knee in the hip pointer. That's where he looks as though he's signalling to the physio at the moment. So Leno Thomas off for a spell.
Is that the hip flexor?
Yeah, could be. But it looked like it was in that marking contest. He copped a knee. Eyes, though, on McIlvini. Can he kick his first goal as a league footballer and breathe some life into the game? It's right to the line. It's on the goal line, and it's touched. There was a boot on the ball from a Thunder player, but it was an East Fremantle hand that got it over the line for a minor score. And Leggett's going to move it back in quickly for East Fremantle to Tucker. Short to the previous goal scorer in Chavez. 23-point margin. Grant's car stereo scoreboard. Light almost completely gone here on a Friday. Good Friday at David Gray's Arena. Jupp had to be a well-measured kick that finds Lester Smith. Lester Smith goes into the back pocket for Maguire, and Maguire has flirted with the boundary, but flirted too much. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So Peel with their opportunities in the last couple of minutes. It stands at 23 points. Time on to the third. Peel Thunder about to go back inside 50 through Bell.
Yeah, long ball from Bell, inside 50. Middleton and Cullen, it flies high as well. Cullen couldn't quite take the mark, and then everyone dives on top of the footy. The umpire will have to bounce or throw it up. In fact, about 30 metres out from goal. Big fly from Lockie Cullen down there. Couldn't quite reel it in.
A couple of youngsters with some aerial ability, Middleton and Cullen.
Yep, high ball. Maguire, the debutant, wins it down. Lester Smith's there in the back half. On the left, goes to a 2-on-1. Marsh is back on the ground. That's good news. But at the back's Murdoch, and he's off to the races. He takes a bounce. He'll kick into the middle of the ground, and he finds Comma. Now, Comma will just hold the show up for the moment because players had to flood back because they're all in front of the footy as goes into the left full forward pocket by Foot, and Stranitica will take the mark 48 metres out at left half forward. Now, Stranitica has kicked one, which was back in the first quarter, and now he has the opportunity to kick the second and just put Peel Thunder a little bit further away at three-quarter time, knowing that Peel are going to kick to the scoring end in the final quarter.
Deja vu, Jack. He had a shot from a very similar spot in the first quarter.
So a little bit further out, I reckon. So he's now called to play on because he arced around. It's got a lot of left about it, and it stays left. Minor score. 11-11-77 East Fremantle. 8-5-53 Peel Thunder. Grant's car stereo scoreboard. 25 minutes now. You would have thought there'd be 4 or 5 minutes left in this third quarter.
Peel desperately need a goal, but they can't afford to concede one. Wide kick, too wide. From Thorne, kicking it out of his defensive 50. So East Fremantle now a chance to go back into attack. O'Reilly turns and drives it back to the hot spot. Murphy sets his feet, can't take the mark, hits the ground. Hand pass comes away towards Lake, and Lake has almost kicked it into the nearby Lake. He's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Oh, there was a small child walking back with no eyes on the football. Nearly got crunched then. Nearly got crunched.
Keep your eye on the ball. Mum and Dad might have had a screaming child to deal with.
Oh, dear.
Cameron Eardley. He's up against the fence, and a couple of youngsters are giving him some advice.
That CD Dodd replay would have showed that ball missing that child by not too much.
Get Snicko on the case, how close it was. So Eardley, he's going to set it up to the hot spot again and hope for a mark in the air. It spills off hands. Is that a juggled mark?
Double grab.
No, is the call. And Bachman can't get his boot to ball on the goal line. And that is going to be a ball up. A metre out. Bachman had the second bite of the cherry, but it came off hands beforehand. So umpire Fry says, who's up? Can't knock it through here, Peel. They've got to be very careful. It spills off hands. Well played. They get it across the line in the end. But in those situations, Jack, you're not allowed as the defensive team to knock that through for a behind. That's considered deliberate. So they will walk you a very tight rope. East Fremantle by 25 points.
I don't think Will Schofield will be an Olympic volleyballer anytime soon, the way he spiked that ball over the line. Here comes the fullback kick from Pina. Big contest, no mark at ground level. Barging his way through here, getting the hand pass away was Sturt. Now falling to ground there, flicking the hand pass up there was O'Driscoll. There's a free kick for a hold, and they'll take the advantage here, East Fremantle, through Boakhurst, and then Boakhurst's kick to Pina. Pina, it's come off his shin. He's got a bit of cramp at the same time, I think, Jarvis Pina. Oh, yeah, it's got him. Yeah, it's shot him in the back of the leg.
You can see it. Oh, that's nasty.
Left hamstring, I reckon, for Jarvis Pina. Boundary throw in, though, nevertheless. Spun back into play now by the boundary umpire. Stranitica wins it down. Murdoch Off to hands of Bokhorst. Bokhorst from 52 sends it downtown. Well, that's a big goal. Big goal from Blaine Bokhorst and a big one for East Fremantle coming up to three-quarter time. 12-12-80 for the Sharks. They lead by 31 points. Peel at 8-5-53. That's the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard that we have down here at Mandurah. And 28 minutes nearly played in this final, or third quarter, I should say. Wonder if Grant's an East Fremantle supporter, because he'd be pretty happy, I think, Grant, with the scoreboard at the moment.
He would be, and that was a sensational long-range goal to put East Fremantle 31 points in front. That's a game-high lead, and only a couple of minutes to go. It was such a tightrope for Peel. They needed to move the ball forward. They need to hit the scoreboard before three-quarter time, but they just turned the ball over a couple of times coming out of their back half, and you can't give good players the opportunity. Blaine Bokhorst with the long bomb to give East Fremantle a 31-point advantage. Dying stages third term. Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Bounce in the middle. Schneider has been telling with his tap work. Thorne almost rove that one. Schoenfeld dispossessed in a tackle. That was a throw over the shoulder for Murdoch. Got away with it. Dooman couldn't take it cleanly. Backing back Baskerville. Heard the voice over his shoulder. Found Schoenfeld. He kicks wide to Bachman. East Fremantle have found a good patch of form in this quarter. Bachman. High searching kick inside the forward 50. They fly in from all directions. There were no crummers. A few players ran past the ball. Lake dispossessed. Spills towards Howlett. He's dispossessed. Spills towards Marsh. His hand pass slightly missed the target. Eventually it spills to Lester Smith. Lester Smith snaps and misses. Just.
Close.
That would have been a dagger through the heart of Peel if he kicked that one. 32-point lead, 30-minute mark of the third term. Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Ryan Lester Smith, who's moved into attack in this third quarter, Jack Crawshaw, really had an impact.
Here's Merritt from fullback. He'll kick long out towards left half back. Big fly from Middleton. Couldn't take the mark. Here's Schofield at the back paddling it to the line. He kept it in for a moment. It was out and then it was back in. And Lawler was nearly about to run away with it, but the boundary umpire was on the spot and said, no, I'll throw it back into play. Right in front of the scoreboard. On the outer side of the ground. Here comes the throw in now from the boundary umpire. Stranonica and McElvinny. Off the contest, it was Schoenfeld. He got it off to Murdoch. And Murdoch's kick is out of bounds on the full. O'Reilly didn't quite get the hand in. And Lake, who's been okay off the half-back for Peel, will again be able to propel Peel out of their defensive 50 once again. So Lake sends it on its way. Back towards that scoreboard part of the ground. Middleton again flies high. East Fremantle with the crummers again, though. It comes down to Schoenfeld from 50. Sends it to the goal line, and it just misses to the left-hand side. Minor score. So peppering late here, East Fremantle. 12-14-86. Peel Thunder 8-5-53. 30.5 minutes gone, and we wouldn't be too far away from three-quarter time, Jacob.
Could have put this game away. Some people might say, oh, it's 33 points. The game might be over. But they've kicked 5 goals 8 in this quarter. We saw with that kick the carry to that end of the ground. Doesn't look a noticeable wind advantage as we look from our broadcast position, but certainly goals have been kicked to that end in this game. Massaging out of the back half here. Peanut recovered from the cramp a moment ago. Shares it with Randall. Gets it back. His kick was knocked down. East Fremantle got numbers streaming back towards 50. Monaghan to Comar. Comar's about to be tackled. Just got his hand pass away. Bokhorst, that brilliant goal. A very dodgy looking hand pass. Jansen couldn't gather. He had a fit of the fumbles. Comes to Marsh. He gave it to Murphy, who also fumbled. Teammates screaming for it in the pocket. Eventually they find him. It's Monaghan.
Ooh. Whose man was that?
Gee, he had an eternity. He was screaming for it, Tom Monaghan. And eventually he was found in the left forward pocket. He's on a pretty tough angle, but this could be a real dagger to Peel Thunder's hopes on three-quarter time.
Tough angle. Hard up against the boundary at left half forward.
5 goals 8 to 1 goal 1 in the quarter. 13 scoring shots to 2. And East Fremantle, who led by 2 at half-time, now lead by 33 as Monaghan adds to that by 6. Big goal from Tom Monaghan. It is his first. East Fremantle's goal-kicking group grows. And on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard, 39-point lead to East Fremantle at the 32-minute mark of the third quarter.
Wonder if it'll be enough, Jacob. They've kicked away now. We know that Peel, they kicked 5 in the second. 5 in the second after East Fremantle skipped away in the first quarter. So they're just relying on Peel to have the scoring end there in the last quarter. Whether 5 will be enough, or 6 it is, in fact, if you count the difference of the scoring shots. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Peel Thunder can come up with in the last quarter, all but finish this third quarter, whether Peel can get the impetus out of the middle and get enough out of the first use, perhaps. Can they get enough out of McElvinny in the ruck, even though Stranatic has been pretty dominant in there in this game to date. So the umpire's got the ball back in the middle, and he puts it into the turf. It does favour McElvinny. Howlett will be first onto the ball. He slips. Schoenfeld nearly wrapped him up. Coming through is O'Driscoll for Peel. He throws it on the boot to a one-on-one. Maguire ran over the top of his opponent there, and then a soccer off the ground. Middleton had his hand on the footy. And what does the umpire say? He says it's deliberate. No sufficient intent, so Peel will get the free kick anyway, regardless of the soccer in danger. It'll be a free kick to Peel. And Merritt will be 55 metres out from goal. So Merritt will kick it to the top of the scoreboard. Big fly. Cullen couldn't bring it down. The crumbs to Randall, and just what Peel needed right on three-quarter time was a bit of momentum. And it's been provided by Michael Randall, who kicks his second of the afternoon, 1 in the first and now 1 in the third. And with, you would think, only seconds left in this third quarter, East Fremantle a 13-14-92, Peel Thunder a 9-5-59. Let's have a look at the CD Dodd replay. The ball came obviously in long, and it was Michael Randall who took most of the opportunity, crumbed the ball off the back of the pack and snapped truly. And Peel Thunder get themselves a goal leading into three-quarter time.
It's manageable. It's certainly manageable if they play like they did in the second quarter. But Peel have just struggled with forward 50 entry in this term. They won a free kick there for insufficient intent to keep it in for Fremantle, and then that's just a Crummers goal. Randall finds himself in the right spot and hits the scoreboard. 35th minute of this third quarter. Plenty of goals, so I wonder if there is time to come. Schoenfeld dribbles a kick forward of the wing. Big tackle from Murdoch. Trying to take on half of Fremantle here is the skipper in Ben Howlett. He couldn't work through any of the tacklers. Has to give the ball to the umpire. 33-point lead to the Sharks. They've dominated this quarter, but the scoring end is with Peel in the last quarter. Murdoch threw his arms up, wanted a free, didn't get it. Bennett work his way through traffic. There is three-quarter time, just as he was making the dash to the top of the 50. So Fremantle 13-14-92. In that quarter, they kicked 6 goals, 8 to Peel, who kicked 2 goals, 1. So it's a 33-point lead at three-quarter time. Have Peel got something left in them to produce a miraculous comeback on Good Friday, or will Fremantle close things out to open their season in 2021 with a victory? You'll find out in a moment here on Front Row Screens.
Shatterguard has been installing Perth's best shutters for over 30 years. With no advertising signs on your front lawn and no sales gimmicks, visit shatterguard.com.au.
Three-quarter time. Outstanding quarter from Fremantle. 13-14-92. Peel Thunder 9-5-59. As we look at the goal kickers, whilst Fremantle chat in their respective line groups. Just one win last year for Fremantle. Peel haven't won for 587 days. will have to produce something special in the final quarter here to change that fact. 2 each for Comma, Marsh and O'Reilly. Singles for Bockman, Boakhurst, Chalmers, Erdley, Lester Smith, Monaghan and Stronitica. So the goal-kicking list is long, not so much for Peel. 4 for Sturdy, didn't have a possession in that quarter. Randall with 2, Lawler, Merritt and Thorne are the single goal kickers. Jack Crawshaw to Peel Thunder have 6 unanswered goals in them in this last term.
Well, that is the scoring end, Jacob, down there at the northern end. So you would have thought that they do have the opportunity to do so, and they need to make every opportunity count. If they can do that, well, then I still think that they are a chance of coming home with a big wet sail here in the last quarter and running over the top of East Fremantle. But the Sharks just had more run in that quarter, didn't they? Peel just didn't quite have the run. So whether Cam Shepherd can really rev his charges up and get that midfield going of the Howletts and etc. in that middle, if they can get them up and firing and create opportunities and give Sturt first use of the footy like they did in that first half and give him the opportunity, and maybe Blair Bell gets on the end of a couple as well. If he can do that, well, then Peel might be a chance. But if they just can't get that drive out of the middle, Peel, well, then I think East Fremantle will probably hold them at bay, I think, in this last quarter. But some of the stats to three-quarter time. So Jarvis Pena leads the way for Peel. He's got 19. 16 kicks, 3 hand passes, 6 marks inside 50. Michael Randall's had 19 disposals. Jackson Merritt, 16. Connor Blakely, 15, as well as Tyron Thorne. Ben Howlett's had 14 disposals. Leno Thomas has had 11, and Brodie Lake has had 10. And over at East Fremantle, well, Josh Schoenfeld leads all comers. 29 possessions for him to three-quarter time. 17 kicks, 12 hand passes, 5 marks, 3 tackles, 3 inside 50s. And you'll see in some of these CD Dodd highlights here that Josh Schoenfeld is in and around the ball more occasions than not. Milan Murdoch's had 21 disposals, 6 kicks, 15 hand passes. Blaine Borkhurst has had 20 disposals. Corey Chalmers has had 19. Thomas Bennett and Jonathan Marsh have had 15 touches each. And then Luke English, Jansen, Leggett and Stronitica have all had 14 possessions. Stronitica's had 35 hitouts to McElvinny's only had a couple. He's only been given 5 hitouts, McElvinny. And 35, as I mentioned there, for Luke Stronitica. So he has had the best of the ruck so far. And in the other game, Subiaco are playing East Perth at three-quarter time there. It's a 13-point lead to Subiaco, 11-9-75 to East Perth, 9-8-62. So they let early doors there, did East Perth. But Subiaco have got on top since. So pretty similar. If East Perth got a bit of firepower to come in the final quarter there against the Lions. So
Josh Schoenfeld, as you said, 29 disposals. Has he been the best player on the ground? Overlooking the numbers, just on impact on the game?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I think so. I think Schoenfeld would probably be the best player on the ground. Do you think otherwise?
I think Milan Murdoch had a real impact in that quarter around the contest. We look at some of these CD Dot highlights. He doesn't stand out, but here he gets a hand on the ball. It spills out. Chalmers snaps a beauty. He's just an in and under ferocious competitor, Milan Murdoch. He finished runner-up in their best and fairest. A lot of other clubs will say, Milan who? Because he's an unobtrusive player. He doesn't stand out on paper. He's short in stature. His nickname's Buddha. And he just finds a way. He gets involved in the play, and there we go. Stronitica's there taking the mark, and he's right alongside him. His work rate really stands out. So I don't think he's been the best player on the ground, but he's been pretty close, Milan Murdoch, with his 21 disposals to three-quarter time. And even Blaine Boakhurst with that long bomb from well outside 50. Yep. 20 disposals for him. And I reckon this is the best game I've seen Luke Stronatica play. You have to consider the relative inexperience of the opposition. But Luke Stronatica has been a real telling impact in this game and done what he should do with his experience against the players that he's playing against.
Yeah, big final quarter. So Cam Shepherd there you saw on screen with his big final rev up to his players at three-quarter time. And the final message, which coaches just need to get right, don't they, before they send their players out again, rev them up for the final quarter. Lockie Cullen's going to come to the bench, so is Braden Lawler for Peel. Jarvis Pena too. And Leno Thomas, and I wonder whether Leno Thomas, he came from the ground during that third quarter with the hip flexor, as you mentioned during the call, Jacob. So I wonder whether Leno Thomas's afternoon's finished or whether he's just had a bit of a breather towards three-quarter time and he'll go again. But yeah, big final quarter coming up here. You used a big word in that little description there before, Jacob, as well.
Unobtrusive?
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I was going to try. I wouldn't be able to pronounce that myself if I had a crack at it.
The old spelling bee?
Yeah, no.
Spell
no
unobtrusive. Can I have it in a sentence?
Yeah. And I still wouldn't understand what it meant. But big final quarter coming up here. So can the Sharks start season 2021 with a win on the road. It'll give him great confidence. We'll find out. And Jacob Lansbury is going to start us off in the last quarter here at Mandurah.
Umpire Matt Adams, one of the most experienced umpires in the WAFL competition. Stronitica gets his hand to the ball. Still in midfield. Schoenfeld, possession number 30. Unable to gather at the ankles was Jansen, but Bennett gets a hand pass forward. English crashes in. Jansen wins the ball. He's tackled and he is holding the ball. Still on a little bit too much on that occasion. Merritt comes up with the free kick for the Thunder. Merritt's going to use the outer side of the ground here. He goes to a 2-on-1. Unable to mark it in the air was Hancock. And Eastman will have the numbers down the other side now. Hand pass comes forward from Boakhurst to Marsh. He almost got tackled, got it back. Hand pass fed out by English. Another possession for Schoenfeld. Now the ball is with Bennett, who gives it back. Kick inside 50, dropping a pretty comfortable mark back there is O'Driscoll. He's held by the jumper. He had an eternity to get rid of it. The umpire allowed him to have all of that time and some more. Lester Smith goes back in to tie it up, and eventually it is going to be a ball up in the pocket. Gee, they're hanging on by their fingernails. Peel looked as though that might have been the goal that pushed it away from Peel Thunder's grasp.
Yep. And the reaction of the spectator on the hill over there when he threw his arms open when he thought it should have been holding the ball, and then the shake of the head as the ball kicked. A free kick, in fact, it'll be out of that stoppage down there at the northern end of the, or southern end of the ground, and Will Schofield. He chips short, finds Newman, and Newman will kick and find O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll now played on. Monahan wrapped him up in a good tackle, and luckily, as he was being slung, O'Driscoll, he put the ball on the boot, and it actually found Lake. So Lake short. And a couple of hand passes. McElvinny gets it on. Now a long ball up the wing, and they've got the numbers here. This is Middleton. Swings around on his preferred right and will drill it inside 50 over the top of the head of Sturt. Borkhurst running back with the football. Ryan Bennell's there as well. Bennell will trap it, keep it inside the field of play. Here come the troops for East Fremantle. Schoenfeld, hand passes to Borkhurst. Bennell's about to close him down on the last line of defence. Measured it well. He finds Maguire. Maguire hard up against the boundary line. Did the ball go out? Oh, he thought he trapped it in. The fielder played in Murdoch, but the boundary umpire was quick to throw the arm up and say, no, it's out of bounds, and he'll spin it back into play. Whether the ball was fully over the line, I'm not sure, Jacob. But anyway, 2.5 minutes gone. East Fremantle hold that lead. It's 92-59.
Schofield's gone into the ruck. He was screaming for a free kick. Umpire said no. Murdoch gathers the crump. English a hand pass back to Murdoch. Couldn't shrug the tackle. Eventually pushed over the line is Bennett. Happy to be escorted over the boundary. So Schofield, just with his experience, has been asked to go in and fill a need in the ruck. McElvinny and Cullen have just been thrown around a little bit too easily. So different tasks now for Stronitica. Again, he bodies up with Schofield. Top of the 50 for the Thunder. Hand pass came out. Eventually it's Bennett. Schoenfeld. Baskerville, all by hand. They use the outer side, and East Fremantle can control possession with the lead on the scoreboard. Lester Smith, dangerous kick back inboard. It hit Leggett on the head. Hand pass towards Boakhurst, and now streaming through midfield is Bennett. He can kick East Fremantle deep inside 50, looking for Marsh. Getting there first is Hancock. He went to ground. Murphy kept his feet. Hand pass to Marsh. Pop it into the goal square. The mark will be taken by Monahan. Turns around, kicks the goal. Peel Thunder concede the first goal of the final quarter. East Fremantle get their first of the fourth and final term and push back out to a 39-point lead on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. That could be a dagger, Jack Crawshaw, one feels.
Well, I think that could be pretty much the ball game, Jacob, but only was going to take one more, I think, because 5 was going to be pretty close to what the maximum was going to be that Peel was, I thought, was going to be able to kick in the final term to win, come from behind and win the game. But all of a sudden, with 4 or 5 minutes chewed up here, and I know there's a long time to go, but that first goal of the quarter certainly means that Peel are going to coming from further back now in the pack. So yep, they needed to really kick the first goal and get the crowd into the game and ultimately get the wind in their sails. But that one might nearly knock it out of the sails, I think, with the first goal to East Fremantle. But plenty of time to come in this final quarter yet, as the ball's bounced back in the middle. Schofield's in there as well. First to the football. Over the top of it, there was English. And he'll drag it in. Schofield will just keep it locked in there, and the umpire will come in again and ball it up.
What do you make of that call, Jack, from Cam Shepherd? The two
Fair.
youngsters have struggled.
Yeah.
Get Will Schofield, the veteran, in
Throw
the
him
heart of the
there.
game.
Yep, got to try something different. Needed to spark some sort of reaction out of the middle. Merritt, hand pass. Bennett, first to the football for the Sharks. Here's Blakely, gets the hand pass away. To no one in particular, though, and East Fremantle have got the numbers around the ball. He's Schoenfeld again from the wing. He'll kick to left half forward, and a couple of grabs at it. O'Reilly takes the mark for the Sharks. So he'll stop and he'll look. He's 55 out from goal. He'll send it on its way. Murphy's down there, traps it, has to get around Sears, who, anyway, that should be holding the ball. It was a good tackle from Sears. He didn't get around him in the end, and Blakely gets it away, and they'll run it off half-back here, the Thunder. This is Thorne. Thorne to the man who's free, who takes the mark on his chest. It's Sturd, who's got 4 goals. Sturd, a long ball inside 50, or hung back at it, and couldn't quite take the mark. Randall waited for it to stop on his head, and Leggett will run away with it. He'll get it to the outer side. East Fremantle Shark there's caught holding the ball. He thought he got the hand pass away, did English, but the umpire says no. Bell laid an effective enough tackle, and he kicks inside 50 to Spell, and the mark's been taken by Burnell, and he's 45 metres out from goal at right half forward. And we'll go back and have an opportunity kicking a goal, and could be the first that if Peel can kick this one and just get the momentum back on their own terms in this quarter, that they might be able to get a bit of a run on.
I'd like to see a CD dot replay. I was with you. I thought that was a hand pass.
Thought he got it away.
Yeah. Umpire was very hot on the whistle, though. A lot closer than we are.
Here comes Burnell. He kicks on goal now. Is this one for Peel? No, it isn't. He misses to the near side. Minor score. So 14-14, 98 East Fremantle. 9 goals, 660 Peel Thunder. There's nearly 7 minutes that have been chewed up now in the final term on the Grant's Cart Stereo scoreboard.
East Fremantle haven't won a round 1 game since 2016, so they haven't started seasons well. They lead on the scoreboard by a significant margin for the moment. And they're moving it down the outer side once again. Murphy screaming for it in the bullseye. There's nothing up ahead, so he's going to have to pause and look sideways as players make themselves available. Murphy finds Comer. He's played a roll up forward today. Used his experience, seemed done at the end of last year, but has a new lease of life. Kick inside the 50, and Schoenfeld takes the mark against the club he started his football journey at. He was a Peel Thunder Colts player. He can have the final say. Now he gives it to Marsh, who blazes and kicks it out of bounds on the full. This is to the right by a considerable distance. Margin 38 points, 8-minute mark of this final quarter. That's on the Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard. One more goal you think will make absolute certainty of it. Peel have to play with a lot of energy and a lot of skill from here.
Jarvis Pena to bring it in from fullback. He does so now. As across the face of goal. Finds the target there on the outer side in Ewing. Little short stab pass from him. Finds Hancock into the middle of the ground. The mark's been taken here by Thorne. So Thorne called to play on, hooks around on his left, paw kick. He was looking for Blakely. It's chopped off by Chalmers of the Sharks, who now kicks up to half forward. Here's Monaghan. He's been pretty good in this second half. Monaghan will kick it long into the pocket. It's a 2-on-1. Good effort there from Brockman, and over the boundary line it goes. He was the meat and the sandwich there between Lake and Thorne, and in the end, the boundary line wins out, and we'll have a throw in deep inside the defensive 50 for East Fremantle, for Peel Thunder rather, with of course East Fremantle down there attacking, and one more goal you would probably think it's done. Schoenfeld in the ruck this time, hard up against the boundary line. Murdoch, was he taken high? He shrugged the shoulder. He did shrug the shoulder, said the umpire, which calls the high contact. So we'll have a boundary throw in. 38-point lead to East Fremantle. 9 minutes gone. Final quarter.
9-point lead to Subi over East Perth. Final quarter there. Similar stage to us here. Thrown back in. Jansen doing the ruck work on this occasion. Helped on by Marsh. Lester Smith. Now we have a whistle. We have a hold. It is a Peel Thunder free kick. Is it? No. It's going to be an East Fremantle free kick. Murdoch was held. So Milan Murdoch can cap off what's been an outstanding game from this young man with a goal. And he's one who hasn't kicked a goal today for East Fremantle. There have been plenty who have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 individual goal kickers. And Murdoch can make it 11. and half the team hitting the scoreboard and put this result to bed. On Good Friday, Murdoch's kick, a left foot kick. He has tugged it to the right and he kicks it behind. 14-15-99. Peel Thunder a 9-6-60. That's on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. We're in the final quarter.
Hancock with a long raking kick brings it in from full back. Bennell collects, kicks it forward. Bell's running onto the ball. Jupp's back there as well with Sturt. Jupp will gather and escorts it. No, he didn't gather in the end. He escorts it over the boundary line. There'll be a throw in on that outer side. So Peel need to go quickly here now if they're going to put some pressure back on East Fremantle. Need to go long and direct. Get Sturt and Bell into the contest up there. Got Middleton down there too. Need to use the much of the tall timber down there. They just need to get the ball moving from the restart. Not too much happening and the umpire will come in and throw it up.
It's becoming like Oz kick, Jack. Everyone's having a turn in the ruck this last quarter.
Thrown up again. So it's Cullen and Jansen. Might have taken Blakely high there, Jansen. The umpire said no. Here's Pena. Blake. Pena again. This is all by hand. Puts the afterburners on there.
Oh.
Does Weston, and he tumbles the ball inside 50, and Bennell comes out and takes the mark. 45 metres out from goal at right half forward.
Oh, this is a non-negotiable. This has to be kicked, and there has to be a few more kicked very quickly after that. I think, oh, they're just painting a picture of hope, but it doesn't feel like Peel right now can get on a roll, but it's amazing what happens when you kick one. All of a sudden you can kick a couple more quickly and it's a different game.
Bennell on the way in, on the right, kicks it high. Does it have the accuracy? No, it doesn't. It misses to the near side. So a minor score, 9-7-61 Peel Thunder, 14-15-99 East Fremantle. 12 minutes now gone in this final quarter. Grant's Car Stereo scoreboard.
Baskerville brings it back in. Corey Chalmers marking the ball in his back pocket. Kicked a goal from that spot in the third quarter. East Fremantle in the second half have kicked 7 goals to 2. They looked in trouble in the second quarter. Peel played a great brand of footy. They've recovered since of the Sharks. That is a towering mark from Jonathan Marsh on the outer side. To use a basketball expression, a stop like that really does help. When you've got a 38-point lead, you're in control on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. You can just massage the ball around. Everyone can get a feel of the footy. Chalmers. And good on debut for East Fremantle, his new club. Finds Marsh again. Another show of strength. 38-point game. Marsh is called to play on, veered off his line, searching kick towards half forward, but getting back. O'Driscoll, it hasn't been his night, dropped the mark, but was then taken high. Gets out of trouble. In fact, no, it's not O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll came for a sit down a moment ago. It's Sears, who kicks into the middle with a sense of urgency, turns it over. Spills East Fremantle's way, kick to the top of the 50. Durman will clean it up for Peel. Gets away from English. Will kick to the outer side. Bouncing ball. Eventually it sits for Merritt. And they've got numbers out on the far side here. They can go goal to goal. Kick inside 50. Bell gets behind the defence, rises but can't mark. Jupp did enough in the air not to infringe. Fights on at the ground. East Fremantle win out. Outstanding play. Mead off the outside of the boot. Tired looking kick. And that is out of bounds. It will be a throw in. Blair Bell's had a tough night, Jack. He's struggled to get away from his man in Matthew Jupp. And again there, Bell thought, great, I've got him goal side. And Jupp just did enough without giving away a free kick to spoil his attempt at a mark.
Yeah, Bell needs to find a way, doesn't he, to get... He obviously takes the first defender probably nearly every week. Needs to try and find a way around that. From the stoppage, Howlett tumbles it forward. Big fly from Bell once again. Lawler at ground level. Gives it off to Weston. Weston a flying shot at goal on the left and he's kicked it. Big goal. And maybe one that might spark Peel into action in the last half of this final quarter. Joel Weston kicks the major. It's his first of the afternoon. And on the CD Dodd replay, just threw it on the boot. And it got the required 50-metre distance and it was accurate as well. Back to 32 points now. 14-15-99. 10-7-67. Nearly 15 gone in the final quarter.
Nondescript celebration from Joel Weston, but he has shown at different times to have genuine leg speed, good ball user, highly regarded, part of the Fremantle Dockers Next Generation Academy under the watchful eye of Tendai Muzungu.
I've seen him today. I've seen Peter
Tendai.
Bell. Yeah, I've seen Tendai. Peter Bell's here as well, the General Manager of Operations at Freo. He's been keeping a close eye on some of those Fremantle charges as well.
I reckon he would have been impressed with Joel Weston and a couple of others. Margin back to 32. Schneider just went the punch out of the middle. Murdoch having a fumble down by his ankles. The ball spilled towards the wing. Keeps his feet. Would have been legged. Player still cracking in late in this one. Bachmann turns out of traffic. Kicks on the left. A little bit too much on it to centre half forward. Gets to the back for Comma. Can't break the tackle. Great tackle that is as well. Sears brought him down and wins a free kick for holding the ball. Peel will take every risk possible from here. They'll risk losing by 8 goals to win by a couple. Long searching kick. Schofield's got out the back. Too much on it for him, but he might have to do the roving and get on his bike. Knocks it out for Bell. Bell's at 50 for back-to-back goals for Peel. Blair Bell misses to the right. Missed opportunity. His first look at the target today. Blair Bell. He misses. 31-point game at the 16-minute mark at the final quarter. That's on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard.
They've quickly brought it back into play, East Fremantle. Here's Maguire on debut. He's done some good things, flashy things so far.
The hairstyles are most flashy.
Yeah, a couple of hand passes. Link up here, the Sharks. They'll tumble the ball through Mead up towards half forward. First out to the football here of the Thunder. Murphy, later tackle. Throw over the shoulder from O'Reilly. Bachmann there as well. Coming up to it was Ewing. And then Ewing gives it off by hand. And it's Merritt who thumps the ball out to the wing. Who will it bounce for? Will it bounce for Lawler? Hip and shoulder with Leggett. And the ball bounces off a couple of them, and then over the boundary line it goes on that outer side.
Good contest, that one. Lawler's come off second best, but he's a solidly built individual, and when Cody Leggett hits, it generally hurts.
Boundary umpire will set himself. Schofield still in the ruck. He's up against Stranidika. He won it down from the back. Hand passed out of there did Murdoch. Got it away to English, and English fired along the boundary line on the right, but couldn't find O'Reilly. It bounces off his chest, and we'll have another boundary throw in on that outer side. 99 plays 68. 17 and a half minutes have gone in this final quarter. And East Fremantle look like they may well get the first 4 points of season 2021 down here at Mandurah.
Some very tired players out there now. I think both teams would be happy to hear the siren. More East Fremantle than Peel. Thorne trying to make one last bid. The ball spills off bodies and goes over the boundary line just forward of the wing on the outer side in front of the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Just 1 goal each in this last quarter, so scoring has dried up as the fatigue has set in. I'll give you a score in a moment from Subiaco and East Perth. And what's happening at Leederville, it is Subi by 16 over East Perth. So the Lions might be to start their campaign with a win. Kick inside 50. Maguire rises to bring it to ground. Jump desperate. Follows up. It's a hand pass underground. Tucker to Baskerville. To Jansen. Now to English. Hurried bomb towards centre half forward. O'Reilly crashes the pack, doesn't mark. Strong tackle from Comma. That's holding the ball. Nick Comma doesn't mind a bit of argy-bargy afterwards as well. Pena, the man, tackled and brought to ground. In the end, it's Bachmann who's going to win the free. He finished the tackle that Comma started. Drop mark, simple mark. That shows you the tiredness of the players, but it spills back to Bachmann. Bachmann's just going to bomb it long. There's a sea of Thunder players. They get in one another's way. Hand pass comes out from Ewing. And Peel are going sideways and going backwards to go forwards. Switch of play from one pocket to the other. Kick came from Sears. Mucking around with it a bit here. Lake clears the defensive 50. Dropping the mark is English. It wins a free kick. And then tried to play on, which he's not allowed to because he has to go back behind his mark. It's going to Bachmann. Another free kick for Tim Bachmann, who was pulled up with cramp.
I wonder what the collective term is for a group of Peel Thunder players.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, you've got the Sharks. Is it a crackle?
I think it might be.
A crackle of Thunder players?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have to come up with something. Front row screens team this year.
It'll give the boys something in the truck to think about.
Absolutely it will. Good. Back they go. Here East Fremantle. Backwards of centre. Leggett. Sharks in control, 31-point lead, about to hit time on. That kick's wayward, out of bounds. So Fremantle, as we mentioned, they haven't won a first-round game since 2016 when they beat Swans. Their average losing margin in round one over the last 4 years has been 42 points. So they haven't just been beaten in games early in the year, they've often been smashed. Last year, they played South Fremantle in the COVID-riddled season and got beaten by 96 points, which is a very deflating way to start that season. Looks as though it's going to start on a more positive note here. Bennett, Tucker, Leggett, all by hand, but they free up some space. English, who's shown some encouraging signs on debut, waiting for the ball. Lester Smith has a man on his outside in Marsh. This could be a good way to finish it for Fremantle. Centering kick towards full forward. It's a down the ground free. It is going to be a free kick at the top of the goal square, more or less, to O'Reilly. Marsh was felled as he kicked the ball, and Dylan O'Reilly will go back and take his set shot and put the final dagger, the final nail in the Peel Thunder coffin.
Yep, and East Fremantle will be very happy with the way that they've played out, especially the second half of this game. I think the second quarter, there might be a couple of bits out of the tape that Bill Monahan will probably want to review, but from a second half point of view, they've probably ticked a lot of boxes, I would have thought, the Sharks.
To raise the ton. You should do it one way or another. A behind will make it an even 100. A goal makes it 105. And Dylan O'Reilly, having been a former Peel Thunder player, will be immensely satisfied with that. Kicks the goal. East Fremantle are home in their first game of 2021. They lead Peel by 37 points on the Grants Car Stereo scoreboard. Time on at the final quarter.
And well done Dylan O'Reilly too. He started really brightly earlier today, and he certainly has finished strongly as well. Now kicking 3 goals. And certainly a player of the future for the East Fremantle Football Club. And as you mentioned earlier, Jacob, I mean, he had the opportunity to be on a Fremantle list or a part of the Fremantle setup. And whether he gets that opportunity again or not, I suppose time will tell. But he started well today in trying to put his best foot forward to hopefully creating that opportunity again for himself. So we're back in the middle with Schofield in the ruck. With Stranitica, the bounce favoured him. Trying to burst his way through there was Jansen. Ball spilled out. Sturt is there. Randall as well. Coming off the back of the square, off the back of the 50 was Jupp, and also Maguire. Now collecting the football there was Murdoch. Brought to ground in a tackle by Sturt. O'Driscoll picked it up. He was nailed in a good tackle there by Lester Smith, and the umpire will come in and say, I'll throw it up just to separate things right here on the broadcast side. Schofield and also Stranitica in the ruck. Murdoch in there. Schoenfeld as well. Ball over the boundary line.
A tough day, Nathan O'Driscoll. Just seemed a little slow. He just had a few moments where he's hesitated and looked a little off his game. High draft pick to the Dockers. Just found the going tough today. Boundary throw in. Again, just looking for a wrestle more than a ruck contest. Schofield did enough. Ball spills Dooman's way. Kicks inside the 50, puts it over the head of Middleton. Skips deep to full forward. Erdley gets back first. Gathers. Races away from his defensive goal. Mead involved. Link up play. Still plenty of run. Whistle. Coming back to be an East Fremantle free kick. And it's going to Mead, who was clipped high after disposing of the ball. Mead goes short and out wide. Low mark is accepted by Schoenfeld, who's looking a little tired and jaded. Found plenty of the ball in his first game for East Fremantle. Former Gold Coast son. Could be one of the pickups of the season. Flirting with the boundary line, no mark in the air to Murphy. And he's happy to leave the ball for the boundary umpire. East Fremantle have Subiaco next week, part of round 2. Subiaco beaten everybody for the last 10 years or so. And they've certainly beaten East Fremantle with regularity. East Fremantle haven't beaten them since 2016, so that will be a tougher task perhaps than this one today.
And the ball back in motion, up towards half forward. Schoenfeld at the bottom of the pack again. Got the hand pass away to Erdley. East Fremantle are working along the boundary line. Murdoch again. Coming round to your school of thought, Jacob, about Murdoch maybe being the better player on the ground tonight, even though Schoenfeld's got the numbers. Here's Murphy. Short ball. Here's Murdoch again.
My man's got it.
Yeah. I can see him popping up on radio during the week.
Oh, yes.
At some point. with an interview perhaps. Milan Murdoch. Short ball. Chalmers to Schoenfeld. About working time off the clock now, I think, here for East Fremantle. Here comes Schoenfeld again. Kicks it long. Up towards half forward. Push out. Free kick. Peel Thunder. It'll be Sears who will be the recipient of that free kick. Short from Sears. Into the middle of the ground. Weston. Hand pass off to Hancock. Hancock a high ball. Big fly. No mark Lawler. Cullen down there as well. At the back for the Sharks. Mopping up. He's Leggett. And a short ball to Maguire. Takes the mark. He's been okay on debut today for East Fremantle. Kicks to the outer side. Schoenfeld takes the mark on the defensive 50. Looking to propel up the boundary line is Schoenfeld. He does so now. Finds a target on the outer side. This is English. Short. Finds a teammate. They'll kick further afield. Baskerville to the outer side, and the mark has been taken here by Murphy. So
Mercy rule.
Junk time. Junk time here. High ball up towards left half forward. No mark from Stranitica. Ground level. English. Hand passes away. Murphy. Murdoch. Stranitica in there again. Back to Murdoch. Inside 50. No mark has been taken at ground level. Thunder defence have to work overtime here. Marsh rips it out of their grasp. Sears, he took Marsh high as he was trying to spin out of that tackle. And there'll be a free kick to Jonathan Marsh. Kicked 2 goals in the opening term. And probably would be fitting if he kicked the last here as we get close to the 27-minute mark of the last quarter. And really finish the opening game of the season off for East Fremantle on a high note.
Kicked the first goal in the first minute and could kick the last goal in the last. So as you say, Jack, would be nice symmetry. Does the margin reflect the game, do you feel?
All on the second half performance, it probably does. Not necessarily what we saw in the first half, as Marsh sends it on its way. It's a big booming kick. It's across the face and it goes through for a minor score. 15-16, 106 East Fremantle. Peel Thunder 10-8, 68. Grant's car stereo scoreboard, and they've launched it all the way into the middle, Peel.
They have. Bell has taken the mark. He dishes off by hand, and Peel already inside 50. Long bomb towards full forward. That's going to go through. That's remarkable. They've got from one end of the ground to the other with 2 kicks, and Taylor Dooman has a late highlight. Well, if they had been able to do that at the 2-minute mark, not the 28-minute mark, maybe this game would still be alive. That will get replayed during the week, Jack, across many different social media channels. Front row screens bringing us the pictures. Here's the CD Dodd replay. Hand pass from Bell. Cruising past was Dooman. And Dooman, from the best part of 65 metres out, put it through.
Big goal.
Massive goal. Now, Cody Leggett about 3 years ago. First round, he was still playing for Perth at the time. Kicked one that was measured at 85 metres. And I don't think that was quite as far, but still. That was, I think, no, it was Sturt, wasn't it?
I think it was. I think he's kicked 5, Jacob.
I've robbed him of
Sam
one.
Sturt,
I've robbed him of
robbed him of the major one.
And it was the mullet that gave it away too. So apologies. Taylor Dooman wearing the number 44 and Sam Sturt with the number 4.
It's a common haircut though, Jacob,
It is these
the
days.
mullet.
It is these days.
I actually don't know if you can call it a haircut, to be honest. It's just grown really badly.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Some people actually put a lot of effort into the mullets. So Sturt with 5, and I reckon that's his first touch after half-time. He's barely been cited as well, Sam Sturt. Kicked 4 to half-time, and he has 5 goals now to his name. So he'll be pressing his claims for higher honours. There's no takeaway out of the middle. 32-point lead to East Fremantle. So 2 goals each in this final term. Schofield gets his hand to it. Follow-up knock forward from Schoenfeld. Here is Dooman, who kicks towards half-forward, off hands. Maguire. 4 juggles. Schoenfeld, another possession.
He's had 42 now, Jacob.
And he might get a couple more if time allows. But the ball is with Monaghan.
42, 9 marks, 4 tackles, 3 inside 50s.
And surely at least a Sandover medal vote or 2.
Well, couple.
Monaghan.
Maybe behind Murdoch.
Our man Murdoch's going to get 3.
Yeah.
Front of the pack. Spills Schofield's way. Hand pass to Hancock. Now Blakely. Over the top. The ball finds Bennell. Dying stages here. Kick towards half forward. It's chopped off. The mark is taken by Leggett. And there is the siren. Wins have been hard to come by for Fremantle over the last few years, but they start 2021 in emphatic style. They beat Peel Thunder at David Gray's Arena for the first time since 2014. They'll make the long trek down the Kwinana Freeway back to Moss Street with 4 points in the bank. 32-point winners over the Thunder.
They should be pretty impressed, I would have thought, East Fremantle with that, especially in the second half. I think there's probably a bit to take out of the first half from Bill Monahan's point of view, but from the second half, they really did dominate the game, East Fremantle. And I thought Peel might have had a little bit left in the tank, perhaps, in the final term, but East Fremantle kicking the first goal probably put the air out of the tyres there for Peel, and in the end, the Sharks too good, running away with the contest in the end. And I think there's a couple of good highlights there. Obviously, Josh Schoenfeld returning back to WAFL level. I think he's finished with 42 possessions. Murdoch's finished with 32. Blaine Borkhurst was good in patches. He had 26. Corey Chalmers as well, 26. Luke English has had 26, Jacob, but I don't know whether we called him 26 times. I think he's probably had a few cheapies tonight, but hey, credit to him. He's put some numbers on the board. Thomas Bennett's had 22. Cody Leggett, 21. Jonathan Marsh, 21. He's kicked 2 goals tonight. Baskerville and Jared Jansen have had 17. Stranatica, 16 with 43 hitouts tonight. And for Peel Thunder, 22 for Jarvis Pena and Michael Randall. Randall was probably good in patches, I thought, tonight for Peel. Probably one of their better plays. Connor Blakely had 19. I thought Jackson Merritt was okay. He had 19 as well. Tyron Thorne, 18. Ben Howlett tried hard all day, 16. Taylor Dooman had 14. Brodie Lake was good in patches too, I thought. He's played a lot of SANFL and Northern Territory footy in the last couple of years. Brodie Lake, so he had 13 touches. Jack Sears was okay in patches tonight as well. He had 13. Joel Weston, 13. And Sam Sturt had 12 and kicked 5 majors tonight. So that's a positive for Peel Thunder this evening, was the 5 goals for Sam Sturt, and maybe some consideration to him for higher honours next week for the Fremantle Dockers, obviously with Peter Bell watching on tonight. But I'll be interested to see what the assessment from a Fremantle point of view would be of Connor Blakely's game tonight. Obviously, he's on the outer again after playing a bit of time last week. So, yeah, comprehensive for East Fremantle in the second half. They've obviously done that pretty well by 32 points, and they'll be 4 points on the board. And in a big year, obviously, for East Fremantle. We know that Bill Monahan, obviously, is out of contract this year, I believe, Jacob. Yep. So there's been a bit written about, the hold-off of Monahan's contract. But I think with some early wins for East Fremantle in season 2021, that might put some of the doubters to bed, perhaps, and you never know. We might see a contract signed by Bill Monahan sooner rather than later. But some of the CD dot highlights on your screen as we watch those flick through, there was a couple of individual brilliances tonight, Jacob. I thought Corey Chalmers' goal, I think in the third quarter, was a real highlight of the game, and no doubt that'll probably pop up in one of the goals of the week segments on a couple of the different shows. But I thought that was one of the highlights of the night, was that goal for sure.
Ryan Lester-Smith went forward after half-time and hit the scoreboard. He played across half-back and up on a wing. He was a little sheepish after sliding that one, tried his best to miss. A bit to like for both teams out of this one. East Fremantle will get the 4 points, but Peel, coming from a long way back, they finished bottom of the table last year without a win. There's probably enough to work with to suggest that they'll go up the ladder this year. Jonathan Marsh created a contest throughout, and Nick Comer in a new role as a forward kicked a couple of goals today. Pretty quiet one for Braden Lawler. He hit the scoreboard in the third term. But overall, East Fremantle after half-time, Jack, just pushed right away, and having led by 2 points at half-time, end up winning by 32.
Do you think the weight of numbers for Schoenfeld will end up probably getting him the 3 votes, Jacob, out of the game?
I think so. Yeah, you can't have 41 disposals, and umpires, I think, have access to stat sheets these days.
No, I don't.
They don't.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, I think they would have seen enough of him around the contest to say that he was the most impactful, but Milan Murdoch was around the contest a lot as well. Number 14 was in the thick of the action in the blue and white. He had 32 possessions.
Murdoch,
And I think just through his weight of numbers, Stranatica, you mentioned, 16 disposals, 43 hitouts. I mean, Sam Sturt at half-time had a vote or two to his name.
Yeah,
he finishes with 5 from 6 kicks.
Yep. I wonder whether he might sneak in for a vote, Sam Sturt, perhaps kicking 5. But
was he Peel's best player?
Oh,
just on impact?
Yeah, probably on impact, yep. But I think out of Schoenfeld and probably Murdoch, if you're looking at something that was more meaningful, but sheer weight of numbers, you would have thought that Schoenfeld will probably get the 3 tonight. It's been good working with you, Jacob.
Oh, it has. Jack, thank you for your efforts. Thank you to Matt and the team at Front Row Screens for bringing us the pictures, and thank you for tuning in wherever you might have been consuming this broadcast. Fremantle start their 2021 season with 4 points in the bank, the first time they've won in round 1 since 2016. They beat Peel Thunder by 32 points.